This boy suffered greatly simply because fate made him exceptionally good-looking. Unable to enhance themselves, the bullies instead tried to diminish his beauty. Arrogance, they couldn't handle the fact that girls didn't flock to them as much. Unaware, by picking on Ronin, they unknowingly sparked the wrath of something fierce inside. Each day those three tormented him on the way to school, proudly recording their cruelty. They joked that this is how a puppy should behave, completely compliant and docile. In the cafeteria, students kept their distance from Ronin to avoid becoming new targets of the bullies. Ronin, ever isolated, must rely on peculiar medications every single day. A bully kicked Ronin, making his medicine fall, then mocked him as if it would make him even larger. The protagonist considered fighting back, and for a split second, even the bullies grew tense. Yet something held Ronin back: to test a girl punch with him. Suddenly, to test a girl punch with him, blonde hair made her entrance. She glared with disdain and told the boys they were nothing but an obstacle. Hoping to impress Luna, the bald guy apologized and hurriedly led the group away. Once everyone left, the girl fixed a long, searching gaze on Ronin. She wondered aloud why Ronin seemed so utterly defeated. Ronin, the main character, responded only with silence. Strangers, the still, something else about Ronin drew the respond only with girls' attention silence that day. She recognized the kind of medication Ronin was using. Later, Ronin made his way quietly into the classroom. He walked past the girl in silence, offering her not a single word. He simply retreated to his seat and waited for the school hours to slip away. The girls in class buzzed with talk about a supposed recording of a monster in town which they doubted was real. That evening, Ronin had to cover up his bruises so his family wouldn't suspect anything. Yet concealing bruises was far from his only secret to hide. Ronin's grandmother saw a shoe print left on the back of his shirt. Has he been treated like a doormat? The music played quietly in the background. Outside, it turned out that the alleged monster video captured by the girl was indeed real. He lifted his gaze and finally spotted the intended target. As Ronin was showering, someone appeared at the apartment entrance. "It's the postman with a package. The lady didn't need to unlock the door," came the voice. The postman entered abruptly and startled the old woman. Secretly, the creature had come drawn by an appetite for elderly flesh. The music swelled. The demon itself was the one unexpectedly ambushed. She evaded the strike and used her power, blood-formed lines tying him without mercy. She demanded clarification, asserting he carried nothing, so who sent him? The clash was noisy, but the water covered the sounds so Ronin heard nothing outside. The creature battled fiercely, but the elderly woman proved herself the true danger. With decisive strength, she overcame and vanquished the demon on her own. While Ronin hid marks in the bathroom, the grandmother carefully did just the same. Her injury disappeared quickly. Neither wished to trouble the other at all. When morning came, Ronin kept the secret of his lost medicines from his grandmother. During gym with Maui, Ronin collapsed and fainted, awakening hours after class ended. It was quite late by then, and his head was throbbing painfully under the lights. He'd been sleeping soundly from exhaustion for hours on end. As he puzzled over his strange dream, his phone suddenly started ringing. His grandmother, voice tense, told him once again they'd have to move. Sensing his weariness with each move, she explained there would be yet another relocation. Ronin was always left out because he never stayed at one school very long. Every time Ronin started somewhere new, his frailty led to harm and others blamed his peers, angering those around him. He soon found himself cast aside by the rest of his classmates. With no friends to lean on, Ronin passed his days steeped in solitude. Just as he tried to change his life, he would move yet again and have to start over each time. The season shifted and time slipped quietly past him. Now in his teens, he still didn't know the art of making friends. Another move loomed ahead. That evening, silence shrouded Ronin and his grandmother. Senna stayed vigilant through the night, determined to keep the mysterious creatures at bay. She guarded her grandson's room, unease in her heart about how long she could shield him. Though their home was safe that night, new horrors continued rising from the infernal shadows. A worker transported goods in his truck not far from where those creatures had emerged. He glanced skyward, saw a nightmarish thing, and lost control, crashing into the roadside barrier. Frozen in fear for several minutes, he remained until other demons encircled the truck. With morning light, the doorman feeds a kitten while a truck waits quietly in the garage. Sensing a threat, the kitten grows anxious about the truck and is quickly overcome by fear. Panicked, it flees and accidentally injures the doorman, frightened by the unknown danger. This is Ronin's building. The doorman grows concerned about everything happening so close to home. When the truck driver lifts the rear doors, Ronin sits inside having breakfast unaware. Today would be Ronin's final visit to his old school before he moved on once more. Sensing oddities, Senna ponders who or what could possibly be near their apartment. She rises and urges Ronin to head to school early, excusing it by saying she has plans. Without knowing her reasons, Senna hurried Ronin out the door in haste and confusion. Ronin boards the elevator and rides the dozen floors down to street level. As the elevator opens, delivery men pass by him with hurried, purpose-driven steps. Dark smoke wraps Ronin, blending unsettling newness with haunted memories. Though he does not comprehend how, this scent seeps in and stirs Ronin deeply. He watches the delivery men, feeling awed after they disappear into the elevator ahead of him. The delivery men now stand at the door of apartment 21101, sounding the bell firmly. An old lady stands ready behind the door while Ronin circles the waiting truck outside below. Ronin peers curiously inside, wondering how many packages could call so many delivery men. He's startled to discover that the truck holds nothing at all within its shadowy interior. There's nothing to be delivered. Why would such a crowd of delivery men head upstairs? Suddenly, a harsh crash echoes from the rooftop, snapping his thoughts to attention. A figure plummets from the highest floor and crashes onto the sturdy branches of a tree. Fear stabs through Ronin. Is that person all right after falling from so high above? Anxious, Ronin returns and takes the elevator upward toward his own place. The elevators have failed, so he hurries upward floor by floor via the emergency stairs. Inside, Senna lets loose her powers to battle the delivery men, no longer hiding the fight from her grandson. She cuts a path through the beings with sharp, crimson threads of spectacular power. Though her enemies are too weak to win, their attack fills her with wrath. When she defeats the creatures, they vanish, dissolving into curling black smoke. There are no remains or traces left where the strange monsters fell in battle. Final Beast strikes out and wounds Senna during the clash. Retreating quickly, she shreds the air with her threads, striking again with intent. She's shocked this last monster stands apart from the rest, not a normal foe. Its unusual form raises a chilling thought. Is this creature a Shinigami? The beast warns Senna, the king's army nears, resistance is futile. In anger, Senna lunges, binding the creature by its throat with her red threads as she dominates him. She snaps, "This is nonsense," while the monster, frustrated, attacks and demands to know the key's location. They desire the music, believing it to be the essential key. Once unyielding, the lady now finds herself overwhelmed by this menacing entity. Driven by fury, Senna shocks the creature and restrains it from behind, using her threads. She injures her foe and forcefully demands the identity of the king. As Ronin at last reaches the uppermost floor, his breath burns from racing up each set of steps. When he at last arrives to his door and wrestles with the lock, his grandmother halts him. She urgently holds him back from entering, allowing the demon to strike and begging to pierce her come in as chest. Persists, allowing the demon to strike and begging to pierce her come in as chest. Senna rips the creature's arm away in retaliation. Thinking the key is likely the boy, the monster seeks desperately to keep him away. With her suspicions stirred, Senna's rage blazes and she unleashes her full might. Gripping the creature's head, she affirms that any with forbidden knowledge cannot live. Outside, the doorman's eyes catch sight of blood coloring the trees. Fiend ambushes Ronin just as he nears the apartment's entrance. Though his grandmother vanquishes the monsters, her wounds spell grave concern. Without warning, a new demon storms in, clutching her grandson Ronin as a captive. When she stays mute, the monster demands if this boy means something to her. Senna only pleads for the boy's safety and promises to come in peace. The monster, wary of Senna's vows, menaces Ronin to challenge her faith. Before her grandson, Senna reveals her gifts. Ronin is stunned by her uncertain pause. The monster swiftly severs Senna's arm in a brutal move. Ronin shouts wildly and bites into the fiend until he rips off a part. The monster quickly flings Ronin away, sending him crashing into the wall. Watching in terror, Senna rushes to help Ronin but is fatally struck before her grandson. Fear driving him, Ronin tries to protect her, only to be stabbed through the chest as well. The beast, with the music echoing, has just eradicated the budding hero's family. Suddenly, he senses a force far greater than any he has felt before. Turning, he notices the armless woman is now completely transformed. He reaches out, summoning thousands of scarlet threads that ensnare the demon all over. When his fist closes, the threads tighten, shredding the beast into fragments. Wounded and on the ground, Ronin observes his grandmother wielding terrifying power with fear. Yet perhaps this was their moment to die together. But Ronin had no opportunity to dwell on this. His mind dims into clarity and he glimpses abyssal monsters soaring heavenward. Wild monsters wage horrific war against warriors who cannot be called human. Those knightly figures bear the same marks as Senna. Maybe these are echoes of someone else's life. Senna escapes in such a memory, clutching a bundle before leaping into a vortex never seen again. Ronin, lost in endless darkness, witnesses recollections that do not belong to him, and his own memories slowly rise to the surface again. He remembered days when he wasn't helpless. As a boy, he would fight back when needed. Mother once chided him for lashing out at her child. Ronin always knew he struck in self-defense, feeling it was right. Their departure left him with aching solitude, feeling unprotected and isolated. Senna, cradling her grandson tenderly, gazes at the mark on his back. With shimmering eyes, she resolves to do one last thing for him whom she loves. Preparing herself, Senna murmurs about the rebel's rule lingering in this world. The rift between worlds stirs and seems poised to open under her might. She admits no other option, returning the weapon she stole from the prince and sending him to war alone. She shapes a crimson flame in her palm and bestows it on her grandson's slumbering body. Senna quietly pledges this power is his destiny to inherit. Every binding shatters inside him, letting torrents of energy pulse beneath his skin. Try as she might to touch Ronin, his body simply can't endure the effort any longer. Thus this marked his sorrowful fate. Music, farewell grandson, my love will always be with you. After a vague stretch of time, Ronin awakens and discovers his grandmother is missing. Alone and amnesiac, Ronin heads to the police to report his grandmother's disappearance. He frequently visits the police hoping to uncover uncover what happened or get news of her. She vanished suddenly. Ronin tells the police a monster is truly at fault for her loss. He insists this terrifying being took her away. The police think the boy is making it all up as an alarming prank. They believe this isn't suitable to joke about something that grave. Frustrated with their doubt, he goes home in anger every day. He desperately tries to sleep, yet haunting memories still pursue him nightly. He is troubled each night, hunted by frightening visions of that fateful day. Ever since, he's been unsure if these events were real or merely horrifying dreams. Weeks slipped by and Ronin adapted to regularly checking in with the police. Eventually, he's told to go back to classes. His classmate seems shocked and checks on his well-being. Suddenly, a strange unease envelops him, though its cause is a mystery to him. Later at gym class, everyone expects him to be frail as usual. Astoundingly, he outpaces them all, breaking everyone's expectations with surprising speed. He seemed almost transformed, not quite his former self. Now no one could keep up with his brisk pace. The sensation of unseen eyes lingered no matter what, leaving him confused and guarded. Throughout his day at school, the inexplicable feeling persists. Trying to solve the mystery, he meets Luna, the school's most admired girl. She wants to know if he needs anything odd or suspicious. Ronin declines. Together, they stroll side by side along the hallway. Intrigued, Luna quietly asks what happened to the medicines he'd always use after class. She notices he has stopped taking them, and Ronin says he feels well now, confessing he hasn't touched them since the day his grandmother vanished. A spark crosses his mind and acting on impulse he darts out a window, claiming urgent business. Soon after, on the stairs, Luna meets the well-known school mischief who secretly adores her. The awkward bald boy immediately changes his attitude when spotting Luna. He tries to act warm, but she pays him no attention. As she continues down the hall, she thinks it's for the best, while at night, Ronin stands in the street, lost in memories of the school day. He notices his body has changed. He's stronger now, and he spots Luna at work nearby. He's surprised to see her working so close to his home. He considers whether or not he should go say hello to her. Just then, he notices an elderly woman behind him gathering cardboard to resell. With gentle intent, Ronin offers her some assistance. He briefly thinks she reminds him of his lost grandmother. He feels self-conscious after realizing he's been gazing at her for too long. Turning away, he finishes helping her and leaves just as his classmates head to Luna's store. She doesn't seem fond of these boys who claim they're only buying drinks, so she asks for ID. Assuming their popularity would bypass the rules, one threatens her if she refuses to sell. His friend quietly warns him not to act, noting the school troublemaker likes her. They are thrown out of the store without getting anything. Frustrated, the blonde boy's friend distracts him, drawing his eyes toward a homeless woman. They approach the lady, asking her to buy them what they want in exchange for cash. Despite her situation, she refuses, saying boys shouldn't pick up harmful habits. Infuriated, they argue she should take the money since she's struggling so much. Nearby, Ronin witnessed the scene and grew furious at the cruel way the woman was treated. He quickly led her away and instructed her to escape while she could. Afterward, the boys approached Ronin to question his interference. He wondered aloud if the woman was perhaps his grandmother. Seeing how hard she worked for that cardboard, Ronin's rage grew as the boys mocked his anger. Dragging Ronin to an alleyway, they threatened to punish him for meddling. The bullies threw him down, one attacking, the other watching so they were not discovered. Beaten badly, Ronin felt something within him truly shatter. With every strike, an inner change began to happen. Then a kick to his head left the attacker sensing unease about what occurred. Ronin gripped that foot and crushed it without mercy. Hearing cries, the second scoundrel rushed over demanding why Ronin hurt his comrade. Ronin seemed detached, realizing he had never done anything like that before. Overwhelmed by the strangeness, he ran, plagued by worries about himself. Near his parkside home, forgotten memories return, when death almost claimed him one night. Now a new force rises within him. He begins to feel untouchable, as though nothing can harm him. The next morning found Ronin walking back into school. His classmates included the same boys from last night's scuffle. The red-headed one puzzled over the previous night's events. The main bully, demanding answers, tested Ronin's patience, annoyed at being ignored. He blamed Ronin for his friend's injury. Other classmates found their conflict odd. Noticed, the bully challenged, asking whether Ronin had a death wish. Student intervened, saying Ronin was under much stress lately. Since his grandmother is missing, perhaps they should give him a bit of peace. The enraged brute pounds the table music, demanding who dares to question him so boldly. Ronin's wrath flares, and his icy stare betrays intense anger. Seeing this gaze, the bully feels a chill down his spine as though his spirit might turn to ice. Those eyes carry a danger much like the infamous Peaky Blinders. Paralyzed by terror, he cannot move as if Ronin could strike him down just with his eyes. He finally musters some bravery, yet exits the scene filled with dread. Ronin's friend feels certain he is no longer the same person. He seems transformed, no longer resembling his former self. Though he found the courage to face the bullies, while a dog walker strolled at night. Hearing footsteps, the dog leaps to defend its owner, but instead, fear gets the best of it. After sprinting for a while, Ronin arrives at a deserted building. He ventures inside, aiming to put his suspicions to the test. He thinks it's wiser to head to the highest floor. There, amidst scattered steel beams, he drops his hood and catches the moonlight upon himself. Spotting a metal bar close by, he gets the urge to test his strength by moving it. Feat that should ordinarily be out of reach. He strained with everything he had, yet the beam did not budge. budge. He silently hoped for nothing remarkable to occur, wishing for normalcy. Yet the metal was left with a dent. Determined, he tries again with added might. Straining, marks appear on his neck. Finally, the beam lifts under his increased force. With newfound strength, he holds the bar aloft with one hand, his power fully awake. His eyes emit a new brilliance. He remains baffled. Meanwhile, a limping student enters the schoolroom the next day. "Was there an attack? Why are you hurt?" Classmates ask. His friend seeks the truth about that night. "Did he punch a wall or something?" The quiet blonde stayed silent while his friend demanded answers. "Lower your voice, he could overhear," he said, shifting the topic by claiming he needed to study. His friend realized that he never studied willingly, so clearly something felt off. Was the book in his hands actually upside down? Confused and uncertain, he started reflecting on the events he had witnessed that night. There was something weirdly different about the protagonist's music-intense gaze. During the school lunch break, the bald troublemaker strolled up to the nerdy group, accusing them of hoarding food. The bully demanded that they hand over part of their lunch and share with him. Now the bully loafs around with his friends, surrounded by heaps of breaded chicken. Predictably, the selfish boy claims all the food for himself, then eagerly invites his crush to join him. He remarks that she's too thin and should eat plenty to gain some weight. She completely dismisses him without a glance, leaving the fool stunned and still. Meanwhile, the undeniable beauty of the school politely asks to sit beside our protagonist. Everyone gazes in awe because not only does she choose him, but she chats with him warmly. Seething with jealousy, the school's bully radiates a shadow of anger. After lunch, he corners his friend, questioning how that frail boy ended up with a broken leg. The bully remains skeptical that the protagonist could have become so powerful. He insists the boy's still a loser, but his friend maintains he's gotten stranger. "That was no ordinary thing, you're supposed to be friends. Maybe he just punched a wall, just say he's unbalanced, people can't change so quickly. Maybe he banged his head." As students gossiped, someone shrugged it off as foolishness. That someone was Luna, who dismissed their talk as music pointless and sad. They picked on him for weakness. Now, with his strength, they're intimidated by him. She suggests owning it and accepting the truth, but instead he laughs it off as witty humor. That person is just acting tough now, but soon reality will set him back in place. The girl urges, "Prove your strength," taunting him, and the bald one wonders about her comparison. She steps up, saying, "Tell the truth. It's okay to admit you're scared." She senses his resolve, but he only smiles, ready to give a lesson to the one who unsettled them all. Later, Luna sent a message inviting the protagonist to the back gate after school ended. Did he refuse, those bullies would not stop tormenting him. Everyone, including him and the other students, saw the news about the coming fight. Phones lit up. Students hoped to see the so-called loser finally stand up to the tormentor. Unlike before, this time the protagonist didn't feel anxious, just saw it as futile. At 6 in the evening, he appeared at the place as arranged. The waiting tough guy stretched, announcing he's going to learn his lesson soon. Around them, the others debated about whose side would win. Yet everyone agreed it was unlikely that the underdog could possibly win. The bald student says boredom grips him, glad for a distraction, then tells Ronin not to make it boring. "Make it last until he breaks," the bully sneers, yet Ronin remains silent, intentions swirling in his fist. People in the circle wondered aloud about when the fight would begin. For onlookers eager to see action, it was pure entertainment, and they spurred on the instigator. Craving attention, he flaunts for the crowd and complains it's unfair to face such a weak foe. The presumptuous bully then declares his plan. To make things even, he offers the underdog one free hit, right in the face if he wants. He promises to stay still, turning the scene into spectacle for eager gathering eyes. Yet only two worried, one for the protagonist and one for the bald friend. They sensed danger within. The arrogant adversary again insists on receiving the first punch. He waited, and before the fist arrived, the force of it distorted his features. After impact, teeth flew and he was sent backward from the blow. The unexpected result left all the spectators in shock. The boy with the injured leg merely confirmed what he already suspected inside. With a single strike, the bully was bested and beaten. Yet more than this, he was hurled high above all and crashed down to earth. Perhaps it was possible that he was no longer alive. Fuming with anger, the main character commands, "Get up." He seizes him by the collar and orders, "Get up now, you fool." He adds, "We haven't truly even begun." Everyone watched in dread and disbelief, faced with a reality nothing like they expected. He stared out with savage intensity. Blood from his foe stained his powerful fist. The defeated bully collapsed, begged clearly for someone to rescue him. Then the hero reassured him that he need not be scared, for his intent was just to teach, not kill. So cold and methodical was he, his breath seemed to chill the other down to his bones. With a cool shiver in the air, the school's most admired student observed calmly above, saying all was as expected. Everything turned out precisely how she foresaw, though that night, an odd event unfolded. Strange entity attempted to enter a home without permission. Our main character walked home only to be halted by his soul friend, who reminded him he forgot his bag at school. He also wondered if the protagonist was fine, saying his attitude had changed quite a lot lately. These few remarks led Ronin to contemplate on his way home if he was truly different. He considered his actions today, disliked the violence but couldn't say he wished it undone. Meanwhile, the creature inside the flat continued to hunt for its purpose. That was when the sound of an opening door caught the creature by surprise. Ronin, unaware of the lurking threat, switched on the light while the monster clung above, hidden and patient. Finding him unguarded, the beast moved in for its strike. However, it turned out the hero was well aware of its presence from the start. Music: the demon demands the hero's identity just as Ronin asks about the demon's own nature. A violent clash wrecks the house, but Ronin evades every strike, coolly seizes the beast and shatters its limb. The demon responds with, "He can't be human." Shocked by its confession, Ronin tears off the creature's arm. The creature bolts through a window, believing itself safe, but Ronin leaps after it and lands a devastating blow. The monster crashes painfully onto the hard ground. Ronin lands and notices the wounded creature is still fleeing, but its injury makes pursuit easy. The demon thinks of its need to identify and quickly inform its leader about Ronin. No such human should exist, it believes. Fleeing, the creature once more witnesses the icy determination in the man chasing it. Both the demon and the onlookers recoil in fear as its strikes prove fruitless. Ronin is transformed completely now. Unruffled, he scans the retreating demon, then picks up an umbrella. With his enhanced vigor, he hurls the umbrella, skewering the beast before it notices the missile. The force pins the monster tightly against the side of the building. Approaching with purpose, umbrella in hand, Ronin demands, "Who sent you? Why are you here? What did you seek?" Receiving Senna's name from the trapped demon. This jogs Ronin's memory of his grandmother's attack and her mysterious disappearance as the demon explains last month's failed mission to capture the woman, whose captors never returned. Ronin asks why target his grandmother, and the creature explains she's actually a former guards general, not just his elder. The demon questions if Senna is his grandmother, but furious over the attack, Ronin doesn't answer about their intent. The monster yells they're seeking the key Senna possesses, hoping for their blessing to claim it, but Ronin coldly inquires about the whereabouts of the other demons who assaulted her. From beyond the portal, the creature taunts Ronin, suggesting he should know since he's a demon as well. With indignation, Ronin retorts, "Nonsense, how can I be a demon, a monster?" And the demon screams, "Look music at yourself. How can you still say you're not some kind of fiend? Can you truly claim mankind as your own?" Glancing down, the demon urges, "Would a human do this?" And Ronin, shaken, catches his twisted reflection in broken glass. His vision shakes his trust, and he questions if his own words could be real. Is he still human? Why is this happening? Ronin fears he might truly be a monster. Seizing upon his distraction, the strange beast stole away before he knew it. He was unaware of what just took place. A weary soul wandering the rainy streets wonders why a man walks uncovered in the storm. Luckily, only momentarily alarmed, he watched the demon vanish into the shadowed drains. During this, Ronin ran, rain streaming down his unseen path. Though lost and disoriented, he stumbled and crashed to the unforgiving earth. Mother and her son approach with concern, inquiring if the boy needs help. The frightened child murmurs his face, "Mom, it's strange." Indeed, the youth's eyes appeared abnormal and concealed. He ignores their worries and quickly vanishes down the street. Meanwhile, deep below, thunderbolts lash the sky, splitting it above twisted creatures. This forbidden dominion lies through the gate in the demonic dimension. The beast escapes into this realm, bearing the first fragments of news from its mission. Demon Stag urges it to deliver the message directly to their mighty leader. Shakily, the monster reveals Senna has fallen. Music: no sign of her remains, but he has found a boy resembling the traitor's features. When they ask why he failed to capture the boy, the creature, ashamed, claims he could not succeed. So vast was the gap in strength, could this boy topple him? But the demon insists the boy was not human, his breath colder than ancient demons. The one standing before him now listens, his interest suddenly piqued. This is the renowned demon General Qin. He draws closer, questioning if the beast is speaking truth. The monster pleads he would never dare deceive the general. Music: the monster remembers how the boy's breath seared his body like fire. On hearing this, General Qin destroys the servant without hesitation. His eyes, fiery and icy, display no regret as he executes a devoted but mistaken follower. Even his fiercest guard is unsettled as the demon king declares, "Never utter that again." Presence with chilling breath that sears, such talk is pure fantasy. At last the figure on the throne stands, mulling over messages, cold fire and the vanished heir's path. He then declares the last descendant of the original monarch is still alive. Since the dawn of ages, humans and monsters have warred, with abyssals clashing since olden times. The world's border widened, and rivers of blood marked innumerable casualties. Quickly, passageways into the human world sealed shut, years passed, and demons faded into myth. Regardless of years, ages lost and shatter anew. All locked gates barred in the past by unknown hands are fated to open once more. The end for humankind looms, now our gaze shifts back to their world. The main character hurried toward the police station in urgency. Officers had footage proving his missing grandmother, Ronin's own, was indeed seen. Authorities wondered if she was ill, as she appeared at a known pharmacy in the video. This reminded him of the black medicine his grandmother once gave at the story's start. He requested the address to be emailed and dashed to where she appeared in the film. Investigating, he hoped the pharmacist who sold her drugs might hold answers. After persistent searching, he found the place he sought. It was here his grandmother had purchased those mysterious black pills. "Who are you?" came the question. He spoke only his grandmother's name, after which the shopkeeper said, "Wait here." Mere moments later, he realized that the man had abruptly run away. He instantly set out in pursuit. For an unknown reason, the man had abandoned the store. Ronin trailed after him steadily. Dodging cars and scaling barriers, the fugitive proved no match for nimble Ronin. He intended to strike, but learning it was his grandmother made him pause at once. He warily inquires what the boy mentioned. Again, the boy claimed Senna was his grandmother and gifted him this. Astonished, the man chose instead to converse. This is a medicine full of side effects, made to suppress the rise of demonic force. He admits most escaped demons have feeble strength and use these pills to hide among people. Now the hero questioned if his grandmother's actions meant he too was a demon. Would he truly be none but human? The merchant wondered if Santa brought him through the rift. The boy requests stories of his grandmother, learning Senna was once the demon kingdom's champion general and loyal to the empress. Disaster struck as the king's brother, raised an army and stormed the palace, marking dark times. In the struggle to defend the king, many became mere dust with no trace left behind. Ultimately, the royal pair fell. Sacrificed thousands for the throne, and only a handful fled to the human world to survive. Therefore, for centuries, demons have dwelled among unsuspecting humans. After some time in secrecy, Senna discovered him, dispatched warriors to pursue them, so the old man suspected the boy was an adversary. The protagonist questions if fleeing was for that reason. The old man confirms it is true. He reveals that as a fugitive demon he fears they've pursued something belonging to the boy's grandmother, and when she stopped showing up, he became anxious. Not knowing her fate, he asks, did anything befall her? And Ronin's sorrow grows as he explains her passing, also warning that their pursuers are relentless. They'll keep sending hunters for beings like them, especially for the hero himself. Ronin feels an anger awakening. Now alone on a rooftop, he silently ponders his very being. Whether human or demon, it was meaningless to him. Yet his most cherished treasure vanished, so he'll stop hiding, demand recompense, and nothing else matters now. Elsewhere in the demon realm, they look for any who survived and lament that none return. Which is why this route earned its name, the Road of Death. The two demons remark upon human pride. Humans believe that because demons can't cross, their world is secure. They claim they will overrun the human world unharmed once the gateway is opened, while the dark-haired, red-eyed boy insists Senna left the passage key for the former king's late son. The present demon king says this heir is their chance, commanding chaos for the soldiers and sending them off in search of the boy. Now the scene returns to Ronin's home. He sorts through his absent grandmother's keepsakes and cherished souvenirs. A photograph of the two catches his attention. He says regardless of origins or age, she'll always be deeply important to him. Ronin slips the photo into his coat, declaring she'll always be the same beloved grandma. After dealing with the bald bully, rumors spread around school that he bested the most disliked person. Because of this, those who once ignored him now treat him well. Ronin struggles to grasp the reason for this. Then the boy who used to talk to him claims everything's different now. No one dared stand up to the bully before and avoided him to not become new victims. Now, with Sang-chun finally gone, the pretty girl you notice approaches and invites Ronin to see her after school. Ronin questions her invite, but his friend insists and makes him agree to meet her. His friend gives him a congratulatory gesture. Ronin's routine seems normal now, with school life and maybe even romance awaiting him. At the same time, the furious bald bully lashes out at others, hearing distant gossip about himself. How could they speak of his defeat? The boy with the cast asks if they'll target Ronin too. His gaze turns cold as he demands if they bear him any resentment. His friends protest no. The bald antagonist remarks, a biting dog must be dealt with sternly, meaning Ronin. Their plot involves trapping Ronin's friend and pretending they wish to apologize to Ronin. When the boy refuses, he's struck in the face. Angrily, their leader asks him to think hard about his choices. He adds a few jabs to the abdomen, attempting to force the boy's compliance. At last, the final piece fell into his grasp. Unexpectedly, the boy, though disgraced, fights back and attempts to strike the bully. Maybe he'd grown tired of facing harm and wished to stand his ground for once. Challenged again, his anger boils, and he turns with rage against the helpless classmate. Ronin sat pondering the demon realm when he saw his friend had been in the bathroom too long. Additionally, he noticed the bullies were absent from the class. Filled with worry, Ronin left to look, yet his friend returned just as he did so. Despite his odd look, his friend only admits to skipping class but avoids further tales. Knowing it's a setup, the boy refrains from telling Ronin about their invitation to meet. Pressed by Ronin, his friend admits a confrontation confrontation occurred, but insists it was no big deal. They weren't so tough he landed a punch, so Ronin ignores his warning and seeks them out. Not out of disregard but to protect others from harm, Ronin chooses to confront them. Though reluctant to agree, his friend notes that Ronin is truly not the same as before. Through Ronin's example he saw that without resistance, he'd remain a target forever. Thus, striving for strength, he vows never to allow himself to be harmed so easily again. Though his friend laughs about fighting back, Ronin knows such wounds bring only silent pain. It's frightening all this. Do you recall Luna, the pretty classmate? Luna had wanted a word after school, but he tells her of a greater task and goes to face them. Somehow, Luna senses what truly brews beneath the surface of today's affairs. That same moment, a most peculiar event unfolds. Most strangers' peculiar event. Unsure, students wonder about their presence at the gates. The bullies led Ronin away to a deserted part of the grounds. Daring him to prove his courage, they led him inside, but Ronin is ambushed unexpectedly. Elsewhere within school walls, the hooded figures scour the halls in search of something hidden. They tracked with focus, sniffing persistently as they closed in on their mysterious mark. The students wandered unaware of the threat looming around them. Returning to the deserted school shed, they overlooked an ambush awaiting them. Ronin swiftly dodged and easily subdued the students without much effort. Fierce kick sent an iron bar lodging itself firmly into the old ceiling. With effortless force, Ronin left the rest unconscious from a single strike. Despite their fear, the students pressed on and each one fell in the assault. The bald boy shook with fear, completely baffled by what was unfolding. How could that supposed failure bring down everyone so swiftly? He wondered in terror. Ronin gave him a cold stare, beckoning quietly for him to approach. It became clear he was nothing but a full-blooded coward. Hoping to turn the tide, the bald boy considered using a bottle, vowing retribution. Yet the main character stood there, unshaken by the looming threat. But their violent clash was cut short by chaos erupting across the school grounds. Suddenly, shadowy monsters showed themselves, launching assaults on students. Abyssal creatures, tracking his scent and hunger, struck down all, even his friend. Midst chaos, Ronin sensed demonic enemies and both heard the echoed screams. Worry for the others made him turn away and ignore his rival. Without hesitation, his adversary seized the chance and launched a sneaky attack. Perceiving the betrayal, Ronin reacted fast, closing the door to foil the blow. With calm, the lead told them, "If you don't want to perish, stay inside, it's dangerous." Enraged, the balding foe sought vengeance for his shame, as Ronin silenced him. When teachers came to investigate the uproar, they witnessed students silenced forever. The monsters then rushed upon everything before them, not sparing the teachers. Anything in their path became prey while they zealously searched for the key. Meanwhile, Luna remained safe in a part of the school untouched by the dark creatures. At last she learned that monsters were attacking the far end of the school grounds. Upon hearing the news, she dashed straight toward the commotion's source. As the others fled, she ran directly into the path of the advancing monsters. She faced her first demon, evading its attack with graceful agility. She drew her weapon from her leg and swiftly cut down the threatening beast. Leaping above, the striking girl cinched her wire around its neck, bringing swift defeat. This twisted monster was caught inhaling the scent at the student's neck. Music scared by the danger, his friends deserted him without hesitation. Yet another blameless student was on the verge of being erased for no reason. Yet Ronin arrived, setting off the alarms. Soon the monster spotted him and gave chase. He aimed to lead the monsters away by escaping and protecting the others. Meanwhile, a bully lay in wait, planning vengeance against the protagonist. But unobserved, a monster seized the bully and made a threat against the protagonist. "Friend is as the doomed, but follow if it were," Ronin asks, "direct at me." "Let him go, I would say," as the desperate bully screamed for help, but Ronin asks, "Why assist?" Terror flickered on his face at those words, then lifted by the beast, he cried out his remorse. Filled with sorrow, the bully begged urgently to be saved from doom. At the edge of his life, he realized Ronin seemed to vanish without a trace. Believing he was deserted, fear took hold as he faced demise. Yet in an instant, Ronin struck, rescuing the bully and striking blow after blow. His strength shattered even the wall, a force the bully hadn't thought possible to behold. He discovered the boy he once scorned wielded power that defied belief. After the battle, the shaken bully quivered in fear, stunned by the monster's defeat. Terrified, he asked, "Is Ronin human?" If unsure, the protagonist would still say yes. Yet before he could reply, another creature crashed against the wall as he checked further. The resilient student shines in the fight against monsters, her poise captivating all who watch. Ronin marvels at her strength before she shifts her focus back to him and his companion. Seeing them frozen in place, she says, "Music, why are those two just standing there so helpless?" She then effortlessly leaps forward, knocking the bully out with a blow that lays him low. She reassures Ronin, promising to protect the people inside as she turns back towards the building. Rushing him to safety, she urges him to escape the building to draw the enemy away. Ronin is initially confused, and she sternly points out the monsters are after him alone. If he escapes, the monsters will pursue him. his questions are cut short as she orders him to hurry to the gym when more monsters appear. Driven by desperation, he jumps right out the window, sprinting for the gym without hesitation. Once he's inside, he turns back and wonders why none of the creatures have followed. Before he can relax, the monsters leap after him right through the window. Surrounded, he struggles as drool drips onto him until her wires yank away monsters, crushing them against the wall. Ronin demands her name and how she defeats the monstrous adversary so skillfully. Music Luna asserts those answers must wait until more pressing matters are dealt with. Urgency fills the air as monsters pour in, dozens upon dozens swarming the school relentlessly. Outnumbered and vulnerable, they're cornered as the monsters meld into a giant, many-eyed beast. This grotesque transformation buys them precious seconds to find safety. While the beast is momentarily distracted, Ronin wonders how it's even possible to overcome. With an idea, Luna confidently shares her plan just as she taunts the beast as ugly and noisy. The monstrous hand's devastating assault nearly catches them with a single, lethal grab. Its plan was to seize Luna, the radiant warrior, and crush her between its grasp. But she swiftly evades, yanking down the immense curtain, plunging the beast into darkness. He glances up and tells Ronin that now it is his chance to help. From the roof, Ronin pulls free a metal beam, crashing down upon the creature with force. Tragically, while they fought, every student within the school fell victim to the monsters. The sinister beast wrapped in shadows strode, clutching a student in its grasp. He gazed through the window, detecting an odd presence deep within the gym. Maybe this was the creature he'd been searching for all along. On the sporting grounds, the massive monster was defeated, pinned by a huge shard of metal. Luna and Ronin kept watch, ensuring the beast was truly vanquished. The hero wondered whether his grandmother vanished to ashes like this fiend. Luna softly replied, "It's safer for us to relocate them elsewhere." But before moving, Ronin caught a cry, his only friend's voice ringing out. At the gym's entrance, his friend stood, blood oozing down his form. The main character rushed, worried as he asked why his friend was wounded like this. Noticing a shadow at their feet, Luna remarked this darkness was unnatural, and he questioned it. Suddenly, his friend let out a scream of agony. He disregarded her caution to assist his friend, but her warning soon proved true. Behind them, a monstrous demon emerged from the gloom, prepared to strike. With a swift thrust, its massive hand pierced both boys as Luna cried out for Ronin, but they fell. It seemed certain that Ronin and the boy with glasses would perish. This sorrow echoed the day he mourned his grandmother's departure. Music was fate challenging him to relive such heartache once more. As Luna cried for Ronin, memories of his loved one flooded his mind. Recollections of joyful times with his grandmother drifted before his eyes. All those treasured moments that used to warm his soul. On his birthday, he yearned for endless happiness shared with his grandmother. All those cherished memories wore the mask of nightmares. His beloved grandmother was no longer part of this life. The joy in his world had completely disappeared. He tries again to touch her arm, but she turns to ashes before his eyes. Before slipping back into his recollections, she tells Ronin to guard all entrances to the other realm. These memories combine with his fury to stir a dormant force he never understood. Azure fire bursts from every side of him, alarming the demon and stunning Luna. The girl and the demon agree, Ronin is unlike the man he used to be. With a single stride, he envelops his surroundings in rhyme. Even the worst fiends have their shadows chilled by the frost in his exhale. After freezing the beast before him, he smashes it countless times until it's but fragments. Having done this, all strength leaves him and he collapses. Time passes before he regains consciousness within an unfamiliar setting. His injuries appear treated here, and the bed is fragrant and inviting. The same girl guided him to her warm bed for care. Venturing through the lavish halls, he sees the windows barricaded with severe iron bars. Beyond the first door, he discovers an impressive arsenal brimming with a range of weapons. Surely, ordinary homes do not conceal such defenses. Are these arms overdone? Spotting someone's approach, he hides and takes up an axe just in case. Ronin is on guard and for an instant, ready to strike out at anything. Figure before him, however, turns out to be a lovely young woman. Would he harm her too? Later, he studies a peculiar painting in the house with suspicion. Once she approached to speak, he began to ponder, who is she and how is she so skilled in battle? Luna admits candidly she thought he wouldn't survive, though his state is still worrying. She settles onto the sofa, remarking that his survival is utterly surprising. The hero shares that he recalls none of what had come before. Caught off guard, the girl declares that forgetting might indeed be for the best. Sometime later in their conversation, Ronin expresses gratitude for her saving his life. She mentions he was aggressive not long ago towards the very person who saved him. Our demon boy asks after Yunyong, who was also stabbed in the chest, seeking his fate. Music Luna, sporting a smile, admits she anticipated this question from him. She answers, assuring him that his friend is safe and recovering elsewhere. The hero then questions whether her words are truly truthful. The girl affirms and Ronin bursts into tears in front of her, ignoring his dignity. He confesses that he can finally breathe easy after hearing the news. She looks puzzled, as if unfamiliar with the sentiment that makes him cry. Ronin shifts and suddenly asks, who exactly is Luna? He adds, truly scary, I was rattled and I bet you were worried as well. They remain silent, eyes locked for moments until she rises, breaking the hush by confessing hunger. She suggests a race might be in order just before sitting down to eat. Ronin stays quiet, prompting her to blame him for her current situation. She hasn't eaten since last night and stands, readying to depart. She shouts loudly, why is he doing this and where could he be going? Ronin explains he can't remain in a stranger's house, making Luna step in. She insists his fragile state means he can't just leave. Only by defeating her could he then go. Frustration rises in Ronin, and he nearly lashes out at the girl. His chest wound splits open as she fixes him with a piercing glare. She throws him down, questioning if he stands any chance against her, even unhurt. Ronin laments to Luna over his grandmother's passing. His whole family is gone, and because of him, schoolmates now suffer too. Luna declares that from now on, she will act as his guardian. This announcement leaves our protagonist speechless and shocked. Luna instructs that he's now her guest, though her attempt at a meal appears to have burned entirely. So will he have his meal? The girl complains she missed eating yesterday while helping someone. Now, even after he prepared a treat, she burned the food since he argued with someone. Ashamed, Ronin wonders if they have more ingredients, and then he presents his chef talents. His kitchen prowess clearly outshines his skills on any battlefield. Within moments, he serves a feast, explaining his grandmother taught him to cook for independence. Luna asks with curiosity if he shared a close bond with his grandmother. He answers yes, very close. Evidently, our girl has never experienced close bonds. Next she inquires what was she like. As the soon-to-be couple converse, rumors music spread. Horrible assault had taken place. Clips and photos appeared online, but authorities removed them, leaving people unsure what's true. At a council meeting, they discussed how to keep this secret, though survivors remain to reveal truth. And the student who faced the monsters hadn't been found. The hidden leader wants to meet the child now. All the leader's attention centers on this unknown student. We are brought back to a scene filled with gentle, romantic energy. Ronin describes his grandmother as deeply kind, possessing a truly gentle spirit. Despite his troublesome nature as a child, she always showed him patience and love. Before he can share a sorrowful thought, Luna reassures him of his safety here. Luna's words leave him visibly flustered. He mentions he has something urgent to do. She's curious about those mysterious beings. Reflecting a moment, Ronin notices Luna might already know about these strange creatures. He looks around at all the weaponry here and is troubled by the possibilities it suggests. Could she be knowledgeable about demons? I can't tell, friends. Though for me it feels ominous, she guides Ronin toward home, advising he must visit a place meant for both answers and the courage to resist them. Walking across that bridge from the beginning, now ruined, they reach headquarters, Monster Defense Central. A great structure lords over the scene, topped with 3 immense digital screens. Ronin wonders aloud if this place truly belongs to a clandestine organization. She explains that secrecy of an organization doesn't always make the location concealed. Inside, everything appears ordinary. Nothing here strikes him as out of the ordinary. While they roam the halls, Luna recounts how the group has battled these creatures for ages. The elevator doors were about to shut. Purple-haired, expressionless girl stands there holding her guitar silently. She simply ignores their presence without offering any kind of greeting. They scan with biometrics and then enter a code on the mysterious door. The elevator speeds downward and our hero jokes, "Are we going to hell falling this fast?" This remark irritated the girl, leaving Ronin baffled by her anger. Their exchange causes Luna to laugh aloud, and they finally reach their floor. Guided by the girl, they walk past labs and people enduring peculiar body tests. They finally arrive at the destination that Ronin sought within the secret place. Luna steps forward and admits they've occupied these halls for many years. Why don't they greet the newcomer, wonders Ronin, lost amid this unfamiliar ritual. He spots countless cameras watching every inch of the chamber. The room resembles a vault with surveillance from every possible direction. The organization's observers watch him through deceptive glass in this space. A man in the shadowed glass greets them, saying the meeting Ronin anticipated has come. Ronin admires the place while the girl subtly prepares her guitar contraption, attracting little surprise. The instrument is a disguised weapon, and with practiced hands she readies the device. This display puts Ronin on edge as he anxiously pictures the upcoming events. She completes assembly and then directs the weapon straight at Ronin. At that moment, our hero senses the events starting to unfold. Luna, taken aback, asks what Aaron intends, while the girl replies she knows and wonders why the demon never prepared to defend himself seeing the weapon. Ronin couldn't grasp anything unfolding while Luna insisted that this wasn't their rightful path. As the enigmatic figure watched through the glass, Aaron blamed her and then fired his weapon. The arcane bolt nearly missed but grazed him with a faint touch, striking far less than intended. He successfully passed the test of rapid reflexes without a single mistake. Girl fired wildly and dodging every shot she darted in close before she could react. With a single strike, her leg extended an impressive 3 meters out. This made bullets fly into the ceiling, causing debris to break loose and fall onto them. To avoid harm, they moved away from each other and threw the smoky remains of the fallen debris. Suddenly, a shape stepped through the smoke and very nearly struck him down. The girl spun her gear quickly, scattering the clouds of smoke all around her. Her expression revealed a determined focus, leaving no doubt about her intentions. She pressed the attack as Ronin dodged, questioning his own response and fearing that losing control could lead to being targeted like the other demons were. The arena's leader observed keenly, saying, "He's remarkable, his defenses impress me greatly." Yet the leader can't comprehend Ronin's refusal to attack, and theorizes he is lost in overthinking instead of retaliating. Ronin, unfocused on offense, let his mind wander and neglected to guard himself as well. The girl's sudden, unexpected strike narrowly missed making a direct hit on him. Luna stopped the blow, incredulous. "Have you lost your mind?" she sternly demanded. She demanded to know just what the girl thought her actions meant. Despite Luna's anger at the chaos, the girl offered no response, remaining unmoved. Without warning, the girl removed a piece of equipment from her arm and calmly walked off. They soon realized that her hand was wounded, the injury plain for all to see. "What do these events mean to you?" The head approached, eager to hear their perspective. He questioned why Ronin didn't reveal his power or choose to defend himself in return. Luna protested, saying, "You're being unfair, why handle this without letting me know in advance?" The leader calmly replied that only an unannounced trial can reveal real reactions under surprise. Ronin confesses he was only evading attacks, believing he'd seriously harm the girl otherwise. With a chilled look at her, Ronin asserts his certainty in his decision. The leader warns he's undervaluing the girl, pointing out Ronin's short journey of mastery. The man explains that demons have targeted gifted people like Ronin, Lyaram, and Luna for ages. The leader demands Ronin not remain passive but instead prove the strength he's being asked for. Luna intended to interject, but the leader now pledges to help Ronin grow and withstand the demons. However, Ronin must demonstrate his abilities directly before the leader. While they converse, a woman arrives reporting urgent business for the captain they addressed earlier. He suggests they can talk later, closing the day, but before leaving, Ronin asks if monsters must die. This leaves the leader uncertain since, for him, allowing such a choice does not exist. To him, cooperating with demons isn't a possibility. Afterward, Ronin stays with Luna and sees her mood seems even more somber now. As they stroll, they come across Lyaram, an experienced combat agent from M1. Ronin tells Luna that Aaron and she are alike in many ways. The blonde with pink eyes replies, "No, she seems gentle and unthreatening." Yet in moments she attacked with axes and chains. Luna claims she is unlike her, but Ronin remembers Luna owning countless weapons. Even Luna couldn't dispute that reason. She brushes off the subject, remarking, "Only that girl there is frightening, not me." Luna insists she would have refused the command, showing their bond steadily grows. During conversation, a patient transfer makes Ronin feel a strange sense of familiarity. This sensation returns from the past. Deep beneath the earth while thunder shakes the air, a man hones his skills in isolation. Wielding his blade, he strikes with such might that mountains seem to yield before him. His harsh gaze identifies him as Chin, a sworn enemy of Ronin. During Chin's training, the king of the underworld pays him a visit. Chin shows his devotion by lowering himself to the ground in a gesture of respect. The kneeling figure declares that their moment will come, but that time has not yet dawned. The king concedes and admits their opportunity has run out. Chin agrees and affirms knowledge of the portal, certain it shall one day open anew. Following these solemn scenes, we find ourselves once again within the city of our world. Ronin made his way back toward the bustling market. The elder Ronin sought claimed he was just about to set out in pursuit of him. The youth insists he returned with the intent to acquire more of his needed medicine. To be precise, he requires only the means to suppress his dangerous powers. He hopes desperately to keep his demon heritage hidden from his newfound companions. He also wonders, is it possible to wield his energy yet remain unnoticed by demon hunters? The aged mentor says only training can help him master the force within. The main character promises full commitment. However, the mentor cautions against impatience. Change does not arrive as swiftly as one might hope. With persistence, all will unfold. He must seek and be persistent, and the old man will guide him. Later, Ronin is seen chatting at the rebuilt school with his friend, relieved to see they're safe. At night, after lessons, Ronin spends time in his new home alongside Luna. He slips away quietly, but Luna notices and quickly inquires about his destination. She questions jealously like a doubtful spouse, while he insists he'll be back soon. He confesses he's feeling constrained inside and just needs room to breathe. When he notices her concern, Luna responds tersely, pretending his safety is no concern. After their heated exchange, he heads off to keep his meeting with the wise mentor. To master his inner force, they journey deep below in a secretive place far from all eyes. They descend into a forgotten underground, using stairs that vanish beneath the city itself. The mentor unseals an ancient stone obstacle ahead, employing mystical abilities as a key. Once the area is clear, the elder requests a display of his true abilities. For the test music, they will stand as opponents, ready to challenge one another. The elderly man arms himself, launching attacks that Ronin skillfully evades. A look of astonishment crosses Ronin's face. The old man's staff grows long and glows with green music light. He can sense its threat. The old man's once feeble pace now shifts into impressive swiftness. After Ronin dodges several flurries of strikes, the old man pushes himself even faster. The old man determines the youth won't strike unless driven by pure anger. Such a boy won't retaliate. If he cannot master combat, he can never claim the title of warrior. Renewing his assault, the old man attacks more fiercely, trapping the youngster. Eventually, he launches an unpredictable blow Ronin can't avoid. Even when trapped, Ronin refuses to retaliate. The old man stirs his wrath, demanding, "How did Senna fall in battle?" The man states he heard Senna was lost fighting the demon king in years past. Still, why would Senna, the demon world's mightiest, perish on earth before mere fiends? Ronin recalls how his grandmother died shielding him, troubled by the elder's doubts. The old man taunts, declaring, "It was vain, why save one so frail at that price?" Chilled at his words, the room grows cold and Ronin tightens his grasp on the spear. Satisfied, the old man insists Ronin accept blame for Senna's death. Straight after, he notices a chilling breath from Ronin after he makes the claim. The old man remains completely convinced. He bears the insignia of the son of the old king. Now his true identity is clear, and the old man can't fathom how he ended up here. A vision of shared history appears. The rift is a gateway linking humans with demonkind. Though monsters long for the human world, humans keep them at bay, but as entry exists, so does escape. Eventually, humans discovered the breach and journeyed into the demon world themselves. Yet this attempt failed. Every human at the entrance was instantly defeated and rendered helpless. Within Tur, only one person survived to discover the realm of demons. King Khan, longing for peace alone, offered his aid to the lone surviving human woman. What followed was an event neither known nor imagined in all human chronicles. The king and this mortal woman grew close and fell truly in love. Their union would yield an entirely new being in this world. From this, a boy was born, the origin half monster and half man. Music. Who did Senna bring to this very place? It is the very prince of that demonic world. Suddenly, panic swept the old man's mind as music rain lashed the vacant ground above. Below the earth, the man assisted Ronin in managing his boundless demonic force. In the elderly man's eyes, such potent energy might erupt without warning. Corrupt and restless, he warns Ronin to hold this force within lest it do harm. The old man then drew out the boy's evil force, sealing it into vials with his power. Afterward, the hero collapses with fatigue and the old man assures him that, with restraint, his strength can be hidden. At first, he must master this power, or else be overtaken by it in turn. After this, they retrace their steps back to the wide field. He must now wield his abilities to learn mastery and bring his strength to heal. As they open the first vial and his energy purifies, smoke billows and training commences. Suddenly, a massive hand struck him head-on, flinging him hard into the distant stone. The old man calmly declares, "This is merely where your journey begins." Ronin must endure these trials and face even greater ones ahead. The adversary in his path springs from the very core of his own intense energy. This music symbolizes the essence of his unearthly strength, given physical form. It's merely a large jar, but no matter how much the boy attacks, the beast strikes harder, almost knocking out Ronin. Unsure of his own strength, Ronin began to wonder whether he could ever defeat this foe. If he were defeated, what would take place then? Would those memories become the truth forever? This thought only stirred his fury within. With his unstable force, he could at last turn and stand firmly against his opponent. Raging, his blows now matched the monster. The old man, watching from safety, noticed the fight evening out. Still, he insists it's all just illusions inside, so there was no reason for such an enormous ordeal. Suddenly, he is struck by dread. Could the boy perish during simple training? Drawing closer to panic, he struggles to unseal the place, but Ronin's power keeps the door sealed shut. His face drained with fear, feeling this power barring the exit was something like regal authority. Friends, what truly held Ronin back all along was the absence of anger. He only lacked rage. Inside the battle, Ronin collapsed at the wall, face heavy with exhaustion. Our protagonist was moments from defeat and danger to his very soul. Yet despite wounds and weakness, Ronin's spirit yielded to nothing. His fighting resolve still burned strong. He wasn't ready to surrender. Just as the creature reached, Ronin awoke from his trance. As he regained his senses, the old master waited faithfully beside him. He admitted his surprise that events escalated to such an incredible scale. Blaming himself, he hadn't wished to put such strain on the boy. Against the old man's fears, Ronin held no feelings of bitterness. He only asked what happened. The elder explained that his power was too much to control. This was exactly what Ronin hoped to master but had lost control again. He laments facing defeat and sadness, yet declares firmly that he'll persist. Even through danger, his unwavering vow is to master his extraordinary power. The elder quietly urges him not to leave this world. Storms rage in the demon domain sky. The ocean churns with unforgiving, relentless violence. Within his sonorous citadel, the present monarch paused, awaiting tidings. The demons announce their provisions dwindle, making life intolerable in their world. To stay alive, they seek passage to the human world where resources abound. Demon Stag inquires how long faith in Shen's promise, unlocking the human realm, must last. Such uncertainty fuels royal fury, prompting his vassal's humble plea for mercy. As his aide exits, the ruler insists Chen comes to him alone for an audience. The sovereign confesses their world can endure for only a little longer. Every moment of hesitation places his crown in greater jeopardy. The demon envoy approaches Chen, who stands guard beside a likely gateway. He has come bearing word. King Kum issues a summons for him. The messenger questions whether Chen objects to the order. Chen answers no, though as the king's blade the servant cannot fathom his true motives. And this fact is perceived by Chen without fail. The youth cautions the king's humble messenger. His senses reach everywhere. He ascended to stand at the king's side, fueled by both might and spilled blood. Thus, vigilance means survival. The demon reflects on Chen's warning as he departs. We now revisit the human realm within the solace of our lovers' shared home. Together, they clean the traces of their meal from cooled porcelain. Luna remarks it's been a week since the boy strays out each night like a wandering cat. He presses to uncover where he disappears day after day. Although Ronin says he's just strolling, Luna remains unswayed by such answers. Despite her worried gaze, Ronin withholds the truth of his whereabouts. Luna concedes she knows it's rough for him, but honesty is vital for their bond. These reflections leave Ronin pondering, asking, how are they actually connected? Maybe you all wished it was romantic. Following that exchange, our heroes set off for another round of training. This time, numerous vases were suspended from above within the cavern. Ronin declared his readiness, prompting the old man to sternly release several pots at once. As the pots dropped, smoke quickly began to envelop the cavern. He informed Ronin that everything inside was forged by his own abilities. If he loses control by wielding his own power, the newly formed beasts will strike against Ronin. He narrowly avoided their attacks, anchored in perfect concentration. Time and time again the creatures lunged at him, yet he dodged or shielded himself. He claims he can now accurately track their attacks and retaliates. The old man notes Ronin's rapid improvement in only a week. Still, the old man warns the apparent victory over the king does not mean he can be taken lightly. This, after all, is a legacy borne by the ruler of the highest abyss in the demon realm. At this moment, all the creatures gather as physical specters of his power. Each monster embodies a distinct aspect of his might. Swiftness, brawn, frost, protection, and flames lasting forever. Together, they are all living extensions of his formidable strength. Ronin claims he's prepared to vanquish every single foe before him. With a deep breath, Ronin surged ahead and attacked. Each time he struck the creatures, they merely vanished instead of falling. Instead, the targets would erupt, and he failed to find a way to truly overcome the magical beasts. These monsters wielded great power, unleashing attacks from afar. Though the battle first seemed settled, now everything had lost its balance. Ronin strove to prevail, while the wise old mentor looked on. The old man observed that Ronin was slowly mastering his inner gift. He enacted techniques that cleverly used each element in the lair to shield himself. His creativity yielded new fighting skills, letting him engage and attack creatures directly. Ronin finally challenged a beast head-on and shattered the monster's intimidating horn. With this deed, the monster's power made Ronin stand at the center of the story. Empowered further, Ronin unleashed freezing waves, spreading frost throughout the field. Seeing the extent of his own strength, he realized his ice froze every monster present. Even the aged watcher risked being caught in the storm, but impressed, he admired the boy's feat. While Ronin trained in secret to wield his gifts, Luna belonged to a group and also trained among peers. Her athletic uniform diverts my attention. Forgive me, Luna fixes her gaze on the girl she evidently views as a challenger. We also note her beauty and acknowledge the trial's goal: reach the rooftop before rivals and obstacles. Music Luna kept her thoughts unfamiliar while immersed in this challenge. Once the contest began, they all surged forward in a relentless contest of speed. Both girls started with ninja grace, Luna speeding beside the wall, her foe by climbing. The fair-haired girl paused to boast, but her purple-haired rival overtook her with agile flips. Luna was confident her opposing peer would never surrender without a tenacious battle. While the two dueled above, the others found simply beginning the climb a significant ordeal. A legendary warrior, bearing a huge gauntlet, also joined the test that morning. Despite warnings forbidding mechanical aids, she ignored them and pressed ahead unaffected. The two leads raced for supremacy until her rival claimed surprise at Luna's moderate pace. Spectators agreed the intensity of their rivalry could give each the drive they need to keep going. Jiu, the M1 head, inquired aloud about the whereabouts of a certain previously present boy. His question was, where did he go? Suddenly, a lab worker arrived, urging him to review something important at once. Professor Silva, M1's defense research chief, showed her superior to an injured hospitalized boy. This patient, as it happened, was a student who'd just come from the attack academy. He spent a long time recovering, drawing our leader's interest due to the unusual info about him. She warns of something odd with him since he was already dead when found. But as tapestries of rubble cleared at the school, faint signs of his life surfaced. Thus, he was swiftly rescued along with the other wounded. Stunned, the leader requested confirmation. He was dead, then somehow revived. The woman affirms this, saying strong sedatives keep him asleep, but without them he would awaken. The M1 chief orders that he stay under observation, left undisturbed for now. As the area clears, we catch a glimpse of him move his hand and another day slips by. That night, our main character steals away for a covert session of secret training. Luna notices his quiet escapes each night and wonders what he could possibly be doing. Imagining his secret is almost beyond her reach. With every nightfall, our protagonist pushes himself in intense, dedicated training. The wise old master proclaims that Ronin's strength has eclipsed all expectation. As the boy gains mastery over his power, he should be further tested by his teacher. Targeted with huge fidget spinners, Ronin finds now his adversary is not his own strength, but his old mentor. He avoids the attacks, though these spinning objects pursue him relentlessly. No matter how skillfully he evades, the fidget spinners still chase him down. Once more evading, he realizes it's time to end the onslaught. The elder sees, through Ronin's stance and eyes, that the boy now makes wise choices in battle. Relentless, the master hurls further attacks at his pupil. Ronin flings his own now still fidget spinners back at their spinning adversaries. With such great power, he cuts through the mighty roots and manages to halt the swirling objects. Now the venerable master himself steps directly onto the field of combat. Towering and fearsome, the man claims he'll unleash his true might, urging the boy to prepare. Ronin's next task is clear: attempt to render the master unconscious in honorable battle. So it's revealed, the true master is Musin, once the demon race's famed warlord. He fled to the realm of humans, now sheltering exiled creatures from his archaic kin. He appears intimidating, his stature immense, skin hardened to nearly impervious steel. Ronin strikes at the giant's chest, but his assault rebounds without effect. Not a single scratch is left behind by the attack. The elder calmly announces his turn and lands a blow on Ronin's chest. The strike pierces through, carving a colossal impression into the wall behind him. After moments, Ronin is hurled by the shockwave. This famed technique strikes belatedly. That assault nearly rendered him senseless, and yet the elder pressed on indefinitely. With his next mighty blow, Ronin bravely manages to shift the arc of its power. The elder explains, "You cannot harm me, so face me with no restraint in your blows." While transformed, his body is untouchable. Their fierce duel rattles the world above. Deciding to intensify the bout, the master prepares to battle with deeper resolve. Victory is far away. Ronin must withstand as this difficult ordeal rages onward. Still fiercer strikes are traded as the contest escalates between master and pupil. Each clash drives the boy to transform, his growth taking on a wild, relentless tempo. In time, the once unbreakable form finally shows distress from the punishing fight. He realizes both his own attack and defense sharpness have steadily improved. He notes a charge in Ronin's gaze, eyes ignited fiercely during this fray. One clash more and Ronin's blow shatters the entire training ground explosively. So all at once, the elder's transformation evaporates, leaving him spent. The master then sees Ronin had masked his demonic force, revealing it destroyed everything. At last the youth stands ready, prepared now to steward this power wisely. By sunrise, their gentlest companion slumbers on, untroubled and serene as ever. While she dreamt in peace, another devoted soul quietly swept and prepared the morning meal. She rose, her eyes met a perfectly arranged room, and amazement filled her heart. The boy proved himself an excellent husband. How could fate bring such wonder? Ronin returned home early and for once, awakened before she did. He took care of every chore, letting her rest while her future children's father served food. In their morning talk, Ronin revealed he once woke tired but now greeted the dawn with ease. Luna says nightly walks might be the cause, yet gently reminds him to respect others' worries for his well-being. The hero asked if perhaps she too had worried about him. Realizing the weight of her statement, Luna blushed bright and scrambled for a reason. Amidst excuses and babble, she managed to craft a passable explanation. She explained she worried because anything happening to him would affect her deeply as well. Music, that's all. Ronin shares his regrets. He admits ever since his grandmother passed, he'd never thought anyone would care again. His kind words and enchanting gaze made Luna flush with feelings, hastily brushing them aside in denial. But she's a fighter, set apart from ordinary girls. With Ronin restored, she insists he join her at M1, but catching his reflection, he worries if Luna too saw his mark that day. That day at school, his full transformation must have revealed his demonic mark for all to see. The uncertainty gnawed at Ronin, prompting him to ask Luna if the M1 members could spot monsters among humans. She confirmed some monsters mimic humans, but upon using powers, their true forms and marks show for all to see. Her answer left Ronin hoping his secret remained safe, and M1 only knew that monsters pursue him, believing he's superhuman. Still, unrest clung to him. Music, his master warned that Senna's passing would draw fresh threats their way. Sensing his distraction, Luna gently asked, "What troubles your thoughts now?" But Ronin barely heard his bride-to-be, too absorbed in troubled thoughts. His mind wrestled with the puzzle: what did the demons want from him? Ronin replied they must make a stop somewhere else before heading to M1. Elsewhere, typical students walked to school, as the former bully now greeted others kindly. Music, though not naturally forceful, he gently coaxed weaker kids for cash to buy treats and smokes. But now, students ignored him, and when his friends showed up, the bespectacled boy remarked the bully should stop acting as before. Everyone still remembered how he broke down weeping before Ronin, exposed and pleading. The boy commented that if he were the bully, his own shame would force him to skip school forever. Each truth cut deep, each word like a strike to the fragile pride of the bully. The bald one tried to protest, declaring he was still the top dog there. Music, but the threat was empty. Fear had melted away, giving rise only to scorn. That day shattered the core of the bully, leaving him feeling vulnerable and exposed. Bruised inside, he masked weakness with feigned resolve and blustered to hide his fear. Now it's known Ronin rode the bus with Luna, while other students went to school cheerful. Seeing them filled him with warmth and a longing for what he himself could not reclaim. Music, the ordinary days had vanished. Soon, the bus crept to a stop at their destination. Luna wondered aloud if staying here was risky, since monsters still pursued Ronin. As they passed her old job, Ronin was curious and asked Luna why she had quit. She responded that it had been a lousy job, so she chose to leave it behind. Yet Ronin suspects M1 already funded members, and believes Luna worked there near him as a watchful guard. Ronin's first destination was always his own home. He stood immobilized at his own doorstep, unable to step forward. Luna picked up on this unease and asked Ronin about his state of mind. Preferring secrecy, he only confessed he was caught up in old memories. He shared that a search awaited him inside for the things and memories he'd left there. Truthfully, he wasn't sure what called him back, only recalling that they once searched for various keys. Perhaps the very key they looked for might still be hidden here. While he searched without revealing what he sought, Luna found a photo of Ronin and Grandma Santa. Somehow this image stirred within Luna a strange sense of recognition. Ronin abandons his search. Luna inquired, but he keeps quiet and lets her wonder what he was seeking. Ronin suggests quietly that they should head back together. Elsewhere at M1, the boy who had fainted woke up at last. He opened his eyes, struggling for air. After removing the mask and regaining composure, he asks about his friend Ronin first. Once calm, they drew his blood for laboratory examination. The attending doctor marveled at obtaining this exceptionally rare sample. With a shadowed gaze, the doctor stated, "She got the test she wanted, now he'll learn what he seeks." She reassures him, telling him that Ronin is safe and healing well. Though the woman spoke oddly, the information itself was clear and direct. Eager to leave and see Ronin, the boy asks to go, but he's told he must wait until his health improves. He could only leave after fully recovering, but later he snuck out alone. Reaching the sample lab, he whispered to himself that he found what he needed. A girl with pink hair spotted him and playfully accused him of being suspicious. After her question, she gazed at his face and, captivated, considered him quite attractive. Sensing her sudden warmth, he simply grinned, keeping his secret well hidden. He gripped two precious samples within his palms. Suddenly, a nurse scolded them, catching them where they didn't belong. She insisted strictly that they should be back at training instead of here. While hurrying them from the room, one sample accidentally slipped and broke. With a chill in his voice, the boy asked why he was labeled a biological threat. The doctor then ordered the pink-haired girl to leave before continuing their discussion. Once alone, the nurse advised he return to his room for answers about his situation. She pressed his bracelet and walked away. A look of surprise crossed her face. The girl caught her from behind, promptly dragging her away to the sample chamber. Eventually, silence quietly settled over the scene. Scarlet marks adorned the glass door as a boy, now in a doctor's coat, stepped out. Watching the blood-stained music doors, he smiled calmly at the vivid color of life. Do you think he had been deceiving our main character the whole time? Or is he perhaps the demon who struck earlier? Place your bets. Meanwhile, in the training hall, word spread that Lyaram was attacked by a civilian. Apparently, no one is really close to the girl since none dared speak with her directly. An agent approached and asked if it was true that the veteran struggled against a newly awakened civilian. The boy was full of confidence but ignored by the girl, which left him seething with anger. He was vexed, pondering just how impressive this guy must be for such rumors to spread. As is often the case, the one they gossiped about suddenly walked in, making the whole group somber. The latest focus of stories is Ronin, whom she first attacked until Luna broke up the fight. Now curiosity runs high, with everyone anxious for a glimpse of this music stranger. Is he so mighty as claimed? The pink-haired girl mischievously praises his handsomeness, being the sole admirer as most glared. The M1 leader watched and asked Ronin if he came to take their entrance exam. Ronin actually clarified he never said he'd join M1, stating he'd only cooperate since demons threaten both sides. Luna tried talking with him, but a boy appeared behind Ronin and dismissed the notion of teamwork. He feels Ronin's placing himself equal to the dedicated people here is arrogant. The boy confronts Ronin intently, and the veteran seizes on the chance for a newcomer duel. As Ronin's stare irritates him, the veteran quickly asks the leader permission for a lesson. The leader will allow the match if the fresh arrival is ready to accept. Before anything began, a staff member headed to the place where it all happened. She opened the door, saw red-splattered floors, and utter panic overcame her. She found a body apart from the head. Meanwhile, the veteran urged Ronin to pick a weapon for the match. He declines, convinced his fists alone will suffice, prompting the pink-haired girl to declare her affection for Ronin. She remarks a rush of excitement and enthusiastically supports the new arrival. The onlookers see the newcomer's arrogant air as similar to Lyaram's, fueling their irritation. The seasoned fighter intends to subdue the self-important newcomer, seeking retribution for Lyaram's previous humiliation. Taking on a newcomer so similar to Lyaram would be his form of vengeance. As the fight starts, the veteran launches a rapid assault. He moves behind Ronin and boasts about his impressive speed. He claims he's too swift for Ronin even to notice him. Ronin truly can't track the swift boy's movements with his eyes. The veteran is indeed too fast, always keeping to hidden angles. Proudly stating he's M1's top speedster, the veteran darts about and aims at Ronin's blind spot. Unexpectedly, the newcomer dodges and knocks the veteran's head like a meteor striking Earth. Single strike puts the veteran into a state of unconsciousness. Ronin clenches his fist, reflecting that he really did try to restrain his strength. The observing instructor notes from afar that the newcomer had fought with his eyes shut. He relied solely on hearing, a feat uncommon among typical fighters. Only skilled warriors dare such a move, and the pink-haired girl now adores him, eager for both friendly and romantic duels. Lyaram closely followed the fight. Meanwhile, Ronin worried his mark might show. So he shut his eyes, focusing intently to keep his power in check. Now he seems to fully control his abilities, and from afar, someone notes how much Ronin has changed. During these trials, Ronin's uncertain friend hid quietly behind one of the doors in the building. He experiences a sudden second surprise. Called clumsy, he's approached and questioned about joining the med team, but his red-stained coat and doctor's badge tell another story. Jaiwon quickly senses something is not right here. While these things unfold in the human world, Chen sits holding a jar in the demon realm. Something buried within the small beast was on the verge of bursting free. Chen watched as the dark form emerged from the monster, strange as a being from another world. He notes that this tiny centipede can possess its host's body and control its thoughts. This is the true terror that lurks within the shadows. We are brought back to the doomed doctor who found Ronin's companion, fated as the fellow who perished earlier. Next, we return our focus to the training grounds. The veteran might share the doctor's grim fate, for he too lingers, and this is a rare scene for select onlookers. Seeing the boy's worrying state, Ronin grew anxious before Luna questioned the intensity of his gaze. Rest easy, they'll quickly receive care from the medical staff. While the pair conversed, Lyaram was amused and Luna questioned her laughter, all while she hoped to uphold Ronin's honor. As the girls faced each other, Ronin seemed lost, while the wild, pink-haired girl watched delighted. Then the facility's leader arrived. The leader remarked that, with training, his impressive psychic talent from the famed street would grow. At that moment, a blaring alarm shattered their talk. An intruder had been detected. This stunned the girls, for the base's elaborate music security should have prevented entry. Some speculated the intruders could even be monsters. Ronin wondered, could those beings have followed me to this place? The base commander urgently commanded everyone to assume their combat stations. Anyone not trained for combat must evacuate from here at once. Ronin insisted he could fight, but the leader rejected him, saying civilians must leave. Yet Ronin protested, asserting his strength mattered, and the leader warned that few recognized his face, which could create confusion during the battle. Luna offered to escort Ronin out, as he lacked an official record to access the base securely. The colorful girl then volunteered to escort Ronin, and amidst unrest, others called for their leader's attention. At last, the leader decided the energetic girl should take Ronin out. Luna was sent to readiness while C, beaming, assured she'd keep the handsome boy safe. She beckoned him to follow her. Everyone at the base banded together to search for the mysterious trespasser. Armed and alert, they searched until they uncovered the first hint of evidence. In the lab lay a lifeless figure, assuredly a casualty of the recent invasion. While hurrying through the base halls, Ronin asked the girl if there was a previous invasion. She answered, yes, long before I arrived. She added with a wink that he'd be safe with her and should thank him later in private. Ronin fretted inwardly, why is this happening now if it's never happened before? At this curious moment along the corridors, Ronin ran into a familiar face from his past. It was a surprise to finally see the boy again since the terrible accident occurred. Yunyang hugged Ronin swiftly, and though his expression was tense, warmth soon returned. The eccentric girl realized this other boy was the attractive one she'd met at the clinic. She exclaimed with delight that now she had two charming boys, and this filled her with joy. As C enjoyed her sandwich, Yunyang gravely told Ronin the alarms meant evacuation immediately. The excitable girl promised to guide both attractive boys safely out, urging no worry. Meanwhile, leaders watched the monitors as recent security footage replayed on the cameras. Their analysts spotted a clip from the attack, a medical team member gunned down amidst chaos. He instructed the team to zoom in for a clearer look at the scene. Upon examining the image, he discerned the attacker was the very boy killed and revived. Knowing who caused the invasion, he ordered the immediate pursuit to apprehend this person. Unluckily, that very person was with Ronin and the spirited girl, who guides them to Sector 1's secure room. Z told them she would fetch some water, advising them to remain and wait there. Ronin's companion reassured him that now they were truly out of any danger. Nonetheless, Ronin brooded since he was told his friend was hiding safely elsewhere in the organization. He hadn't guessed it would be M1 and asked if his friend was really alright after that ordeal. He found it incredible. To everyone's astonishment, the friend recovered from his injury to the chest. The main character gladly accepted this and expressed joy that his friend pulled through. From now, Ronin vows to guard him, though he wonders aloud if he truly can keep that promise. Can he really keep him safe from harm? His companion admits that everything that happened was because of him. It led to his friend's grave injury and arrival here. These simple words left Ronin stunned as C returned, carrying water for the group. Whatever else Yin Yang had said was unknown, but Ronin sat gloomily in a corner. In the lab, they finally pinpointed the person's location using camera feeds. The young boy seen was within the security area, and the boss knew Ronin and Cadet had seen him there. The woman displayed the security footage, showing the three together in the room. The one attacking them was with the other two, seemingly without suspicion. People debated sending a team, but Professor Silva stated Cadet Sai had activated full lockdown, making entry from outside impossible. Someone asked if the patient should be under the professor, but their leader replied that, at this time, observation was their only choice. They had to keep watching the trio's interactions closely on surveillance. Mid-tense monitoring, the pink-haired girl reveled at how attractive the two boys were. Ronin exuded charisma while the other, despite seeming weak, was handsome too, creating a silent tension when water was brought. The boys have a disagreement during her absence. She fancied they might have quarreled over her, finding her too irresistible to ignore, and wondered who she should pick. Maybe she would choose the quieter, more thoughtful one. He was precisely the type Sai liked most. While lost in these thoughts, she spotted a blood stain on the boy's coat. It reminded her, why was he dressed in a doctor's robe at all? Yunyang explained how he'd once spilled blood samples on his clothing in the lab. He grasped her shoulder, telling her both had cause for trouble due to the earlier mishap. His daunting presence caused her to suddenly freeze in her tracks. This young man whom she had admired, now regarded her in the most menacing light. His fear was clear, and Ronin halted his odd friend, pondering the fate of that frail boy. Where did the old him go? Ronin asked, uncertain as his companions watched. His friend now felt fundamentally changed, almost unrecognizable to everyone. He gave up pretending and soon started laughing madly, no longer hiding the truth. He resembled Kira the moment his mask was pulled away. Instantly, Ronin understood exactly who was behind the unfolding chaos. He cried out for Sei to escape immediately, sensing the urgent danger ahead. Instructions were sent so the scientists in Room 1 should move to Room 2. Soon a hologram from Department M1 alerted the slow-moving girl of an intruder nearby. It was Yunyang. Everyone, including Ronin, received this warning from Jier at once. Ronin then watched his old friend bare his claws and strike at sea without mercy. Still stunned by recent news, the girl seemed helpless and at risk of perishing. But our hero intervened with courage, gripping his opponent's hand to stop the attack. They asked the boy's true nature, but he only replied with his usual dark humor. Ronin saw through it all. There was a demonic hand, and C became the new victim. Now, seeing the truth, our hero resolved to confront and strike at this enemy. Yunyang's body melted into darkness, letting him vanish entirely like mist. Z faced only emptiness. He had faded into nothingness before her bewildered eyes. Nobody, not even in the ever-watchful control room, could find where the threat had slipped. The professor observed, suspecting him to be the same beast from that disturbing school event. Perhaps the monster was the puppeteer now, manipulating that unfortunate student's actions. The professor feared this theory, while agents doubted a monster's ability to invade a person. Jae-Huk alone seemed convinced, and vowed to heal a human-possessing monster themselves. The boss believed Ronin could control the demon, while the woman wanted to study Yunyang, a belief she soon regretted. She's startled by the boss's faith in Ronin, yet doubts Yunyang could be caught without being killed. All effort proved futile, as the boy suddenly manifests again before C amid the chaos. He can merge with shadows, vanishing out of sight to appear without warning. On his return, his initial blow lands squarely on his adversary. He struck her chest, using all his strength to catch her off guard. Then Ronin aimed a fierce strike at his longtime companion's head. Though Ronin moves swiftly, Yunyang is even quicker to escape into shadow. While cloaked within shadows, his opponents are unable to reach or harm him. Ronin starts to hear young Hyun cry out desperately, which stirs a deep rage inside him. With growing frequency, the plea for aid sounded more urgent each time. Dread gripped Ronin as he wondered if he truly intended to finish off his old friend's form. With delight and torment, the demon enjoys witnessing his foe's agony. Ronin, about to be struck, was suddenly saved by Si Hehai, who also forced Yunyang to retreat. Yet in truth, Yunyang feels no pressure from those who stand before him. Z and Ronin, meanwhile, are caked in grime and bruised from the struggle. At least now, the two grasp the extent of Jung Hyun's remarkable gifts. He blends into darkness. Ronin, seeking a solution, recalls the demon's prior piercing attack. He wonders if the demon is the same monster, even though he believed both died before. He healed unlike others, convincing Ronin that Yunyang is gone, hosting the demon, so he tells C to stay by the wall. Ronin charges to the center and destroys the soul light, shrouding the room completely in darkness. Now the chamber is pitch black. No one using the cameras could observe what unfolded inside. Reporting this to her boss, a woman questions why the boy would make a choice that puts him at a disadvantage. Still, inside the total darkness, Ronin determines that all shadows have vanished with the light. Yunyang resumes taunting, doubting Ronin's ability to catch him in these murky depths. He mocks Ronin, reminding him of his promise to always protect his friend. His arrogance is evident as the demon incites anger, but Ronin recalls relying on instincts when blindfolded in the last trial. Music, all he required was to sense the monster's presence rather than see its shape. If his senses could catch it, he'd find him, and soon his vision sharpened and his ears caught everything. The beast believed itself impossible to find, shrouded in its false security. Yet as it spoke, the horror it feared most silently arrived beside it. punch slammed into his face, and Ronin charged mercilessly to end it. Yunyong didn't expect recognition in darkness. Now blows rained down upon him, swift as Gatling. After a hail of fists, a fierce kick hurled him back, crashing against the wall with force. When struck this hard, most people find themselves coughing up blood. Now the specter inside Yunyong begged pitifully for a hint of mercy. "Could he slay a friend?" Ronin replied coldly. "Friend, don't amuse me with lies. Yunyong is gone, only your torment uses him," Ronin said, his stare icy as winter. So intense was Ronin's rage that a chilling aura commanded the entire room. Now Yunyong saw Ronin was no longer powerless and wielded his wild strength at will. Before he could plan escape, Yunyong realized Qin must hear of this truth. But luck vanished, and in mere moments his form became a solid block of ice. With just a trace of spirit left, his body served as nothing but a frozen ruin. Ronin didn't hesitate. He destroyed young Haiyan's body without sign of sorrow. Brilliant light spread from their battle, catching the careful attention of the security cameras. Sharp blue burst appeared, blossomed, then broke apart before their stunned gaze. This made the research chief watch closely. Ronin had just ended the demon's terrible curse. In this brief mourning, Ronin grieved that Yunyong could never rest. A grave denied him in death. Such a fate is unjust for one pure of heart. When they arrive, they find chill silence remains in the room. It was as if snow blanketed the floor. The chief tentatively asked if all was well. Ronin passed them with a frozen air, wordlessly departing without once looking back. He walked away, clouded by grief visible in the lone slant of his retreating figure's silhouette. Shortly afterwards, the M1 chief gathered his agents to learn what had occurred. The head researcher shared details about Yun Haiyan and her current state. On the day it all happened, Yunyong was lifeless, and she saw a monster had taken his body. Demons always dissolve to dust after death, so collecting their samples was impossible. She hoped sampling the possessed body could succeed, but her error was failing to spot trouble as he seemed so normal at first. When he suddenly acted out, this crisis unfolded. The others asked, "Why pick this ordinary boy?" To which the M1 leader answered that Yunyong was Ronin's friend. Clearly, the demon chose him to get nearer to Ronin. Jae-Huk pointed out that demons are targeting Ronin. He still wondered why Ronin held such importance to the demons. As they puzzled over this, Ronin was quietly heading for the exit of M1 base. On his way out, Ronin thought about the same issue. The demon was actually after him. If demons can inhabit people's bodies, who can he trust now? Walking sadly, Lyaram waited and immediately asked why he hesitated with the demon. To Ronin, her question was pointless and he remained silent, so she continued that he might not be hurt if he hadn't paused. He simply passed her, saying Yunyong was his friend, explaining his reluctance. Still, Lyaram was unsatisfied. The girl insisted, "It's just a demon inside a body." According to her, there was no need to hesitate or feel moved. Honestly, she's starting to become irritating. Is it only me who feels this way? Ronin freed himself and looked tense as if on edge. Just then, Luna arrived gently, calmly stepping in to stop the girl from provoking Ronin. She argued even if it was a demon, it looked like his friend, so it's understandable, showing her own frustration now. How could she dare say that to someone who's just lost a friend by their own hand? Yet even after this, Lyaram stayed stubborn, insisting M1 is not for getting sentimental. She then challenged Luna. If Luna thinks that way, she's weak, but Ronin's interest in their argument faded. Ronin paid them no mind and simply walked away. Who knows if he mourns his friend or wishes to escape the same fate. Within the analysis chamber, they seek to decode the footage captured from the fray. All they notice is that after darkness, a sudden light flared, followed by an explosion which led them to draw a parallel to a microwaves effect. There were no flames found. The explosion was caused by something more mysterious. Yet what confounds the woman most is that, despite the blast, the walls iced over instead of igniting. Reflecting on this, the teacher considers that Ronin's talent might be freezing fire, and that astonishes her. She never dreamt a superhuman could wield such formidable control over the elements. As they tried piecing together the events and uncovering Ronin's power, the boy sought his master, hoping to speak. He recounted the recent events and shared how they used Yunyong's body, even after death. Such heartless cruelty weighed heavily upon them. Ronin came simply to lodge his discontent to the elder's attention. Each time he defeats a demon, another soon replaces it, leaving him searching for answers as to why. He wonders how long this cycle will continue before it claims his life, and he needs to know. He confronts his master, asking what their true desire is and whether he knows more. After a thoughtful pause, the elder says, "It is time you learn the truth." He then rises and bows to Ronin to express deep regard. The boy felt lost, struggling to grasp the moment's gravity. The old man declares his gesture is a mark of respect. As Khan's soldier, he must honor Khan's child, who is heir to royal legacy. Ronin is stunned by the truth revealed as the man explains how the demon land was ruined by war. Relentless fire consumed every inch of that once steady land. When Khun's forces stormed the castle, all defenders, like him, swore to keep the king safe. Muzin was Khan's loyal guard but failed as his post was breached during the fiery destruction of the demon world. The king's younger brother refused to accept a human bride and half-human heir. He orchestrated an ambush with intent to dethrone his brother and seize the crown. The brothers clashed clashed with such force that the demon realm trembled from the conflict. Khan's might was nearly unparalleled among all. His brother resorted to dubious tactics, wounding Khan gravely before the duel to gain an upper hand. The king's loyal guards failed to defend the castle and escaped alongside the others. The man ran away from the realm of demons and has lived in hiding among humans since. The king's clash with his brother brought such peril that the guards could not stay. When Khan died, despair overtook them. Muzin says Santa, Ronin's grandmother, was in the military ranks that day. He tells Ronin he's King Khan's son, saved by Senna from execution. At first, Muzin thought he was just another demon child. He recognized the prince only after witnessing blue flames that refused to fade. That power, a fabled strength among demons, marks the heir to the demon throne. Ronin grew up unaware since Senna never shared the truth. The man continues revisiting the past, seized the throne after Khan, and now seeks to destroy whoever threatens his reign. He must slay the rightful heir and take the key to the throne, then he will rule all. And so Ronin became a target, now told he holds the destiny of both peoples in his hands. These may be memories, for Ronin now flees out in the rain, letting it hide his tears. He realizes he must find strength to take charge of his fate. We are shown the castle's destruction and his human mother wandering lost, clutching her son. After Khan fell, she could only wait for her own turn, fearing the same fate for her son. Still in the room, the story goes that Senna tried to give Ronin a normal life and delay the war, for if he's revealed as the key, he'll never know peace. That night, Muzin returned, believing all had perished with the fallen king. He and his forces then fled for the world of humans, for the king's power controls the rift. At Khan's death, they hastened through the rift. Ronin's strength is also this very door. This is why seeks out Ronin, hoping to breach the worlds and invade humanity. If this unfolds, both the king and demons from their realm shall cross to our world. Cert, the reigning king, intends to end humanity, and now we find Ronin in turmoil anew. Now he fully understands that he holds the power to destroy this world. The force that Ronin strives to harness can break open the barrier between realms. Across the rift, demons await, guarding the passage with watchful eyes. The current ruler came, curious about the source of the trembling earth. One demon servant explains that the gate vibrates with the key's growing power lately. Realizes such events happen only when the full power of the key awakens. His loyal follows fears the boy may seal the rift shut from the far side. If that occurs, even the last remaining crack will seal, cutting off human worlds forever. Bristles at the threat and longs more than ever to know Chin's location. Chin, lost in his own mission, spends endless hours gazing at the ocean's rift. While Chin observed the ocean, he saw with certainty that the key had awakened. The cherished child at last arose as her mother foretold, thrusting us into distant past memories. Human Hua Yun, wife to King Domain Khan, trusted Senna with her precious child. That child, Ronin, was entrusted to Senna to spare him if tragedy struck his mother. On that very night, Senna accepted the burden and cradled Ronin, vowing to protect him. On that same night, Senna made another fateful choice, one heavy on her heart. He approached her own son Chin. In her embrace, his little sister nestled safely. Senna felt enormous relief to know her son had remained hidden. The hidden children, silent and still, managed to avoid being found. Senna confided in Chin about her new, considerable responsibility. Telling Chin to flee with his sister after she leaves, Senna never reveals her reason, confusing him. She commanded, "No time to explain, just do as I say," and told him about a shelter near the forest path. Further on, Chin must display accord to someone waiting for him by some rocks. After one last embrace, Senna promised reunion, and seeing Ronin with her, Chin knew he was the queen's son. He praised Chin's strength, entrusting him with caring for his little sister. So Chin spent the night alone, faithfully protecting his youngest sibling. From that day on, Chin held anger toward humans, blaming them for his mother's abandonment. Obeying her command, he ventured to the place she instructed that night without hesitation. But when he arrived, all those who were supposed to be waiting were already dead. The only thing left behind were lifeless bodies scattered across the area. The new king's army had mercilessly destroyed everyone present in that place. Chin cried out for his mother, wondering if he'd reached the place she would be. Tragically, after that moment, Chin would never see his mother again as fate separated them. Think about the storm of emotions that stormed through that abandoned boy's mind. Years gazing at this place, Chin understands his mother fled to the world of humans at someone's request. Now, at the new king's castle, the deer reports with concern that Chin remains missing. Servant reports searching everywhere. Chin was gone, likely escaping guilt for wrongdoing. Frustrated, the king commands his strongest warriors for the rift, guarding it so it wouldn't shut entirely. Though the servant recognized the grave peril, one man insisted the order must be obeyed regardless. Orders are absolute and all must heed them, no matter what consequences follow thereafter. Thus, without protest, the loyal servant rushed forth to enact his king's demanding decree. Still, unrest plagued the servant's heart about the bleak state of their demon world. The servant believed that all the woes befell because of Chin, the king's trusted aide. He never trusted Chin from the start, harboring dislike since the day he met him. It was the day Chin rebelled, launching the civil war. 2 homeless children found Chin's army. The orphan newcomer pleaded to join, but soldiers ridiculed him without mercy. Yet undaunted, he loudly declared he'd surpass every soldier and become the mightiest among them. His words struck at the soldiers' pride, shaking their composure deeply. Such bold defiance seemed intolerable coming from a mere child among warriors. That was the fateful day when the servant first crossed paths with Chin. Chin at that time was yet just a youth, unversed in the world's cruelties. The boy cried out that he was ready to fight for the realm's new king. Soldiers tried to likely to halt him about the child. He was a war orphan, likely to be sent away, but that day the servant noticed Chin's look and questioned if he'd join Kun's soldiers, allowing him to stay. This was meant to intimidate, the man explained. To be a soldier of Kun, you must truly be willing to sacrifice yourself. He teased the youth, declaring that if he was ready, he should part with his most treasured belonging. Now his sister trembled, clutching his shirt with dread over what he might have to give up. Might the boy truly give up any comfort for loyalty to the new Kun? Glancing at the boy for a time, he felt sure the answer was no, and departed the scene. He decided the boy would be sent away, since he would serve no use as a fighter. Time slipped by, and the air in that place grew tenser and more unfriendly. After a great while, the boy returned, declaring he longed to serve, his face set and filled with tears. The servant bore a strong dislike for Chin, that stern and unnerving figure. Quick question to all: did you notice what I did? Is it just me? Realize now there's a rift between the human and demon realms. As one delves deeper into this rift, the way narrows. Trying to cross, you'll meet traps that ensure demise. When Chin attempted crossing, red vines attacked. Strength aside, he hadn't expected to be subdued there. Peering down the chasm, Chin was reminded of the day he left his sister in the woods behind. Music friends notice her from then. He wrapped her in his coat and gifted their mother's pendant. He promised to return to her that night. She waited there while calling to him not to worry on her behalf. He insisted she would not yield to fear. Chin showed the servant he would prove loyal to, and willingly left his younger sister. His thoughts wandered. Wasn't that just what his mother had done before? Recalling his repeating mistakes stoked his anger. Trapped between worlds, he remembered sacrificing all for Kun. On that, and as Itachi once said, you have not yet gathered enough hatred. Harnessing vengeance, Chin overcame. In his realm, Ronin believed strength alone could be their shield. Catching sight of a butterfly in the dark, he felt as though he recognized it. He returned home after midnight training and found Luna still awake and waiting for him. The charming girl inquired about his well-being and reminded him about tomorrow's early trip to M1. Intrigued, Ronin wished to learn more about her previous mention of being his guardian, but she brushed off his curiosity and claimed she was heading to bed. I'll never understand these folks from the East, he thought, puzzled at giving up so soon after one rejection. Rather, recall Luna's words reassuring Ronin not to fear, for she would be his protector. The morning saw them at M1 as promised, where a pink-haired girl ran to greet the hero she adored. With sparkling eyes, she eagerly asked if he had missed her absence. Luna, feeling possessive, intervened. The petite girl couldn't even touch the floor when held up. Dispute then flared up between the two young women. He wondered out loud if Luna was his girlfriend to challenge her, as the girls clashed and he remained baffled. The teacher arrived, breaking up the scene, and instructed Sei to head back to the training hall. To Seihei's dismay, she couldn't stay near Ronin and while being dragged away, cheered him on with loving words. After Seihei left, Luna confessed her relief to Ronin. This girl is genuinely oblivious. The teacher instructed Luna to join the trainees as only Ronin would remain. She wondered aloud if Luna was truly his guardian. The woman's inquiry sounded innocent, prompting Luna to admit Ronin wasn't registered yet. She explained it was wise for her to keep close for now. Despite her words, the chief scientist insisted Luna leave, stating Ronin wasn't her responsibility. Chivalrously, Ronin assured Luna it was alright, she should devote herself to her training. Left alone, Luna grew anxious, perhaps privy to secrets we have yet to uncover. Meanwhile, Ronin was taken for a series of evaluations. Various digital and blood samples were thoroughly collected from him. Every assessment was done. He wondered how much he'd be made to give. After enduring each test, the woman escorted Ronin to meet the chief Onin for conversation. He explained these procedures were for recording his biometric details. Ronin had gained access to the base, but he wondered if they found anything remarkable about him. The woman said everything was ordinary, yet our heroes wished to uncover more about it. Worry lingered for him, no matter how convinced she sounded by saying nothing was wrong. Her remarks felt suspicious, declaring him as strong as he was healthy. After a draining day of examination, Ronin sought his master under the night sky. He shared every detail of his training and the purpose of joining the monster hunters. He chose to join them, seeking any insight about the monsters they hunted. Any valuable clue could help them against these foes. Muzin praises his resolve and makes his own choice. Muzin will guide Ronin now, asking Ronin to address him by the name monsters used, Muzin. He once was Muzin, a royal defender of Khan, and must now rally the scattered soldiers of Khan. Those who hid in the human world will rise once they sense Khan's heir grows powerful here. With all prepared, they will join him in his journey to claim the throne and rule as king. Muzin stakes his life to make Khan's child the new ruler. That night, a secret lake flared red and burst under the full moon. The one following Itachi's code at last crossed into the human realm. Jin is set on defeating Ronin, whom he blames for his mother's departure. Meanwhile, the Demon Realm's towns were steadily becoming vacant. They failed to find the new king's deer meant to pay the tributes. Some said all fled, yet others whispered they'd been lost to the rift, where none survived their entry. Soldier noticed a path that wound into the deep woods. Another rumor told that all who saw the blue butterfly vanished the same night. The king's servant wondered if old loyalists were attacking, or villagers assembled in the woods to rebel. Opposition was unwanted now, so he commanded a search in the woods to uncover their secrets. Above, a blue butterfly drifted, and soon the scene shifted back to the human world. The couple watched the odd case of a blue butterfly surfacing from the water as if it were a fish. The enigmatic insect was seized. Jin destroyed it, stating it entered from the portal and served as a tool to spy. Jin instructed to be swift, pursue only, and not to kill. While Luna walked at night, she became aware of someone tracking her steps. She was unable to discern his features or sense any presence around her. Her strategy was to guide her shadow to a lonely spot and then strike. As Ronin rode the bus, he spotted his beloved going opposite of her usual homeward path. Where could she head so late? Puzzled, Ronin detected an eerie, infernal force near him. He exited the bus without thought. Later, the creature lost Luna and the crushing steel bar was parried. The fiend took on a grisly form, a serpent-bodied abomination. Our heroine exclaimed she sensed it was a monster, but wondered at its motive for tracking her. The beast replied she knew its intent, then lunged angrily against Luna. She dashed along its tail with blazing speed, yet the creature captured her. The monster seized her wrist and hurled her hard to the ground. Stunned, she seemed still while her foe lamented the blue butterfly were not as fierce as hoped. Where's the key now? Luna lay motionless before radiating a crimson glow. With sharpened claws unleashed, she slashed the beast's tail to shreds. She then cast aside all concealment and showed her truest self. Cat ears and 9 swirling tails crowned her, marked as Ari, the legendary fox spirit. The snake fiend sneered she should be in Lonia's north, insisting defeat binds her tongue. He aimed attacks at Vastion repeatedly, but she evaded with dizzying speed. Anger surged in Luna, and magic akin to her matriarchs blazed within her. Both discipline and markings echoed her mother. Startled, the serpent learned she was Hyel demon. He decided such a powerful being was too ominous and had to be stopped. He was resolved on killing her, despite Shen's commands forbidding it now. Luna charged at the trapped beast, attacking with sharp claws that couldn't fully contain it. About to be consumed alive, she desperately clung to the monster's jaws for survival. She almost became serpent prey. Poison from a single fang weakened her instantly. It seemed Luna's story was on the verge of ending forever. Suddenly, a recognized voice rang out, softly calling her name. She turned in shock, wondering if it could possibly be Ronin. What could possibly have brought him to this dangerous place now? Terrified and uncertain, she called that she could explain, though unsure she'd make it out okay. Ronin saved her from the monster's teeth, saying quietly, "We'll talk about it later." He stunned the serpent demon with a swift, powerful strike in one go. Sensing defeat, the enraged creature vanished beneath the earth, escaping far below. Luna tried hard to follow, but pain and venom struck and held her in place. Ronin wished to chase, but made the wounded warrior his main priority. He gently gathered her into his arms and begged her not to exert herself. Later, a quiet calm hung around them as they retreated safely back home. There, they patched up her injuries and treated her battle wounds. After everything had calmed, Ronin demanded to know if she was a demon and what she'd discovered about him. She revealed it was from that day at school, after she caught a glimpse of his medicine. Frustrated, he snapped, wondering why she stayed silent after learning his truth. He explained he'd already survived assaults from other demons frequently. He wondered, given everything, why trust in her word should come easily. These truths stung Luna, who hoped he'd believe she was loyal like his mother had been. But this last claim completely confused Ronin, and to be honest, even left me stumped. Luna spoke of the M1 group at war with demons for ages. Officially, General Ju says M1 protects people, while in secret their chief sent undercover spies to the demon world. Among those, a captured agent named Heian would one day become wife to Khan. This operative was in fact Ronin's mother. The queen proved humans and demons could live together in harmony. There were groups who saw her mere being as a danger. After giving birth to a child with her bloodline, she endured many murder attempts, though she was an exceptional agent. Despite many failed attempts, it was never simple, and the queen feared stronger threats would arise, risking her child's safety. Thus, she secretly formed an armed group to guard the prince. This group is the Blue Butterfly, of which Luna is now a member. The girl then reveals M1 facility footage to Ronin. She has spied on them in secret, believing they hide ulterior motives. The footage from the attack day has a noticeable gap. They spot a major section missing. They decided a hidden door must be there, holding sensitive queen data safely within. This made Ronin eager. He suggested they visit the place at once. Yet Luna feels even as a team, it would be beyond their power. However, she devised another plan. Meanwhile, a snake soldier tells Shin why he retreated and what happened. Shin now realizes that both their presence and the key are no longer secret. It makes little difference. Shin sees it's only a matter of time before he claims the key. One day at the training grounds, the pink-haired girl hugged Ronin's arm, desperate for aid. He indicated a monster pursuing her as music played. That creature was the fool who underestimated Ronin and was thoroughly defeated. He kept after the girl. The duo just found the scene funny, unable to grasp what led to it. Joy was clear on their faces. Luna remarked they were like children again, envying youthfulness. Ronin concurred, saying no one is truly here by choice, but he always stays positive through it all. Luna declared that every person has a destiny marked from the moment they are born, guided by fate. With no alternative paths, they pressed on, heading straight for the point where the footage was missing. They set their sights on uncovering the mysterious hidden place. They found a wall with a unique sound, and with her energy she managed to reveal a hidden door. Luna was surprised by how effortlessly the door had opened. Once inside, several creatures confined within glass cylinders met their eyes. As they searched the documents there, Shin was meanwhile in his old apartment. Ronin discovered old record books, and Shin found a photo file with his mother and Ronin together. They unearthed a dossier about Heian, who was Ronin's mother. The couple saw the real mothers they never knew, who perished fighting demons. Ronin immersed himself in his mother's records and memories. Everything he saw was unfamiliar since her story was new to him when he sensed someone arriving. Luna quickly said that someone was nearing the room with speed. Ronin immediately suggested they conceal themselves up above on the ceiling. It was none other than the director of M1 approaching. He entered, chose a book in their room, and began leafing through the pages. During this, the pair hid within a narrow ventilation shaft above. They watched from their cramped hiding place, keeping calm all the while. In that confined space, they were pressed closely together. They observed as the director finished his tasks and quietly exited the room. Ronin whispered softly in Luna's ear to let her know the director had gone. This made Luna blush as they found themselves nearly face to face. Was there a silent feeling between them? Ronin leaned closer, gently asking her to wait. Luna feared he'd kiss her and pulled away, softly protesting. Yet Ronin only mentioned something about her hair. She wondered what exactly made her hair so important. He explained it was the draft of air moving through her hair. This spot also connected directly to another chamber. Elsewhere, the director paused, reflecting, who are they? As they entered the file room, Ronin traced the flow of air, arriving in a different room. The ducks made their way through a laboratory as well. Professor Lyaram was present here, speaking amid the backdrop of music. The older woman questioned if the girl experienced any dizziness or nausea after the higher dose. They seemingly uncovered a surprise as the woman attended to Lyaram and asked her to notify her about unusual feelings. After a night of sneaking into narrow spaces with Luna, they finally returned home. Ronin sought Luna's thoughts on the hidden lab. Luna claimed Lyaram always seemed untrustworthy. Lyaram consistently went to extremes even during practice. Ronin suspects this behavior is linked to everything. He passed the phone to Luna for her to look. He had photographed that page from his mother's confidential files. Luna is truly caught off guard by this information. These coordinates indicate a deep-sea spot, believed by them to be the Demon World entry, just as the exploration team once used. Luna wondered aloud, are they preparing land for the same path his mother once walked? Ronin agrees as Shin stays at the protagonist's place and tears Ronin out of his mother's photo. Shin aims to enact the same in reality. Shin is stunned by the building's security. He expected it to be deserted. Why are you here? Are you homeless? The worker inquired, questioning also Shin's great height. Sadly, fate was not kind to the unsuspecting worker. He only wished to fulfill his duty. Within the demon realm, the beings remained bound in chains. Feral monsters were herded and tossed into a swirling abyss to force the portal to grow. One of the monsters slipped free and threatened to lunge at the guards. The king advanced and secured a share of meat for the approaching barbecue. His anger grew because the army's numbers remained unchanged. Why? The servant dreaded admitting people slip away, joining Khan's cause in the woods. King was clearly displeased by the news. He placed his faithful servant directly above the swirling portal. Asked Barrow why he dared speak Khan's ghost's name aloud. Barrow only begged desperately for his life. The king hurled him down and ordered more monsters be brought to widen the gateway. Fearful for survival, the servant promises to obey, knowing he's balancing on destiny's edge. Among mortals, two elf-like figures talked quietly in the alley's shadows. They waited in hidden anticipation for Muzin's arrival to speak with him. Muzin, carrying a disfigured mark, told them that the king's son survived. As he tried to smoke, only his lighter burned in the dimness. The explanation lay in the demon perched above them atop the shadowy building. Chun watched serenely, appearing behind them faster than their eyes could track. Chun warned them, saying, don't place faith in rumors. The elfin pair retreated quickly, then split. One scaled the tangled building. Then split, twisting, scaled the moonless tangled alleys. Splitting up, they hoped, improved the chance that at least one would escape. Chun didn't bother selecting his quarry between the scattered fugitives. Music echoing, Chun unleashed fire, burning through the man's arm and severing it. Now misfortune left the man with ruined strength as a wounded demon. Chun chased the man, intent on dragging dragging the information he wanted from him. Chun spoke kindly, "My name is Chun, King Kun's devoted right hand." To the crippled demon, Chun's presence was illogical. Sana should be his rival instead. Hoping luck would save him, the demon attacked, but Chun easily defeated him. Chun pondered aloud, "Where is the prince?" The man played ignorant, but Chun would not accept uncertainty about the young royal. A huge ancient bar hurtled towards them, blocking their escape. He heard the sound music at the last moment and swiftly dodged aside. The attacker was actually the girl who had accompanied the other man. Mid-smoke, she tried to see if she had hit but was startled by a burst of fire aimed at her. He split the iron in two, charging forward to strike at the young woman. He scaled the building seeking his quarry, finding only emptiness above. Watching her flee injured, he was sure she would lead him right where he wished. Certainly he'd soon gain the answers from her lips. The one brought peace, yet a massive crater marred the heart of the waking city. Passing car nearly tipped over the edge into the abyss. Officials cordoned it off, unable to determine its depth or cause, while a worker peered into the gloom below. That man would sadly vanish there, seeing a terrifying fiend for the first and final time, for Barrow's exiled demons poured through the portal, unleashing chaos upon humanity. Is this the moment our tale truly begins? Emergency alarms sounded throughout the M1 facility. News arrived of a strike in Region 23A. CE buzzed for her first genuine demon-fighting sortie, though her comrade warned her not to be reckless with her life. Nero was present at M1 as well, setting out to join the confrontation. Luna clarified the journey was exclusive to Section C. Participation for him was denied. Still, our protagonist ignored such commands. Seeing demons devour humans, he believed he had a duty to fight, for these fiends resembled colossal monsters. 3 fighters arrived at their target location via helicopter. He bet the others' music who'd destroy more demons. Their energy rose for battle, but Lern kept gravely focused. As they leapt out, it felt like plunging into the world of Shinjiki no Kaijin. Monsters delighted in the chaos they unleashed upon this world. The first soldier sprang forward and swiftly sliced the beast to shreds. Yuan Shang, blessed with incredible speed, felt exhilarated amid the battle's fury. Although he was defeated by Nero, the boy remained swift and expert at conquering these fiends. Music, the Guardian of Piltover, brandished mighty attacks while Jiang Se possessed formidable armor skills. Their innocent, childlike appearance masks their fierceness as they clash in battle. They act with unyielding severity toward these monstrous foes. Z may seem foolish but reveals a harsh side in times of need. Lern differs greatly from the others. She regards events with her usual vexed air, noticing 5 approaching enemies. Cool and resolute, Lern, like a battlefield deity, swiftly vanquishes every opponent together. He lands silently atop a fallen enemy's remains. None of these struggles hold challenge for her. He is admired by all who witness her deeds. Although her arrogance is unpopular, her unmistaken might commands their admiration as she finds all too simple. She feels uneasy, sensing something amiss, but her search for answers yields nothing. Ending them all brings her satisfaction, yet her path is complicated beyond annihilation alone. Suddenly, an enormous beast rises from a bottomless chasm. A giant forms an eclipse with its mass, and now the girl who was never challenged faces her greatest test. Is she able to survive this threat? The authorities quickly order people to clear out entirely. As turmoil swells, a man hurries to find one he knows. He discovers Hana, badly wounded in distress. He never expected such a sight. Hana fought to stay conscious and impart crucial information as a final effort. He tells them Chin is living on Earth, startling everyone. Muzin asks her to be silent and heal, though that's not her concern at the moment. She doesn't wish to survive. Hana only longs for word from man. Is the prince truly alive? When she hears confirmation, relief blossoms. After all, the king's true line endures. Her spirit flickers in gladness, and as haunting music lingers, she slips away amid blooming chaos. Now Chin stood gazing upon the human world, present to witness fate unravel. That young man yearned to face Ronin and vent all his anger amidst the clash of swords. An enormous beast towered above them. Lyaram struggled fiercely to restrain its power. Should it slip free, the city would fall to ruin, and the mission itself would end in failure. Tragically, even their own safety could not be ensured in this fierce struggle. Moments before Aaron's end, the scorned boy arrived valiantly, plucking her from certain doom. Ronin proved far stronger than expected, felling the beast instantly with unstoppable force. The monster's dusty remains startled the agents, who exclaimed, "Such a feat shouldn't be possible." Z rushed to embrace her savior while another scoffed, claiming mere beginner's good fortune. As for Lyaram, silence became her reply to all that transpired around her. Luna approached and gently reached out, aware that peril still lingered close by. Against Luna's offer, the girl declined any help extended to her in this dire moment. "Always this stubborn," Luna remarked, and said calling out to her was simply a waste. Fuming, Aaron marched off the field, leaving the Tempest behind her as she departed. The wounded were evacuated, yet many still reeled from the havoc wrought by monsters. Witnessing their pain, Ronin felt his own guilt as Luna urged a retreat to the M1 base. Ronin warns his friend, unwavering, this conflict will not find its end so soon. With solemn music, he knows this is no end. As for Muzin, he alerts his circle Qin is back. They are reminded, Qin serves as the trusted right hand of the reigning demon king. Qin is infamous, recognized as the mightiest among all demons across their dark domain. Nonetheless, Muzin warns his companions, cautioning them against believing appearances alone. Years after fires and loss, war returns, a vision of hell revisited, now haunting Earth again. The cavern yawned overhead, beckoning the late king's champion to fight once more. They must remember hope remains, and not let the illusion of failure consume them now. The cavern unfurled only because the demon lord's own general had unlocked its gates. Qin arrived in person to face them, his enemies converging upon him at once in desperation. Yet even united, hope was futile for them. Effortlessly, Qin deflected every strike. His swift blade felled all who survived the last war. General Qin showed no mercy, embodying ruthless power with each action. Plunging his sword into the earth, Qin unleashed a wave of fire at his enemies. Muzin shielded them and preserved the final pair from the crumbling resistance. Qin recognized Muzin's strength, conceding the elder's tenacity impressed even him. Muzin, though, found no respect for Qin's merciless actions. Not all wounds fade, still, he joined with he who betrayed and harmed his own brother. Qin summoned the old commander of Khan to fight, for now he lived as an outlaw. The battle raged between them, and amid the clash Qin demanded the key's location. Relentless, the youth's challenge pressed Muzin to his final limits. Recognition dawned, Muzin knew Qin's strength was irresistible. The females, desperate to aid, faded quickly against the might of Qin's effortless defense. Beyond the barrier, another only heard the echoes of pain cutting through silence. The girl stalled for time, yet the barrier shattered, allowing Qin his relentless escape. Those brief seconds saved many, but the brave girls sacrificed their lives. But their sacrifice cannot deter Qin's pursuit. He soon wandered unimpeded into the city throngs. Onlookers supposed amused that this odd man belonged in some fantastical film. Unaware, the crowd imagined a movie was filming a science fiction scene around them. Since childhood, Qin disliked humans, and the sight of crowds rekindled his hostility, spurring his assault. A luckless youth was his first casualty, music split by Qin's devastating onslaught. For Qin, this act brings a sense of comfort. As the executioner seeks out humans and destroys the city, the old man escapes with desperate haste. Those he recently lost were the final companions from the old man's enduring journey. They were the younger ones he had promised to aid. And now, in exchange for his safety, they perished. Like always, his route is marked by countless losses. Still unchanged, Qin continues to seek out Ronin. The old man must guarantee the prince's safety until the right time, while Muzin senses Qin's willingness to sacrifice others to draw him out. But he must refrain from revealing himself to protect the king. On this challenging path, many invaluable people have already gone. Now the rightful king is about to make his return. Yet can the old man bear more innocent blood being spilled for the sake of his quest? Qin feels nothing resembling sympathy for these people. His resentment stems from being rejected by his mother in favor of a mortal. Having endured a harsh youth, he seeks to punish them for his pain. Youth hiding beneath a truck is marked as his next prey. But as many guessed, the old man could not tolerate further loss along his way. The old man could not intervene only once. He turned back and struck at Qin, accusing him of cowardice for targeting the vulnerable to force his hand. Qin counters, claiming the man is a fool. He insists his purpose isn't to draw the man out but to purify himself. Vengeance drives him, and words cannot reach him now, though the man confronts him with might. Regardless of who opposes him, Qin remains undefeated. While chaos erupts, the previous battlefield sees evacuation. Luna confides in the hero that the blue moth is being hunted, adding it's too dangerous to elaborate here, yet the blue moth group supports Qin's claim to the throne. As the pair talk over these matters, Lim becomes aware and discreetly observes them. It's a mystery what this girl truly intends. The M1 leader contacts the team, alerting them to a Code 9 event nearby. It's occurring just 1 kilometer from where they are. There's an urgent Code 9 incident unfolding. To explain, a Code 9 signals the appearance of a near-mythical level enemy. Footage captures 2 human-like beings clashing fiercely enough to endanger the city. Ronin recognizes man but can't name the black-haired one. Others agree these foes differ from past creatures. Even the usually haughty Lyaram feels fear of these tremendously strong figures. Luna should know that black-haired figure, but it's Ronin who reacts most deeply. Driven by instinct, the young boy charges toward the conflict. According to him, the handsome man ought to stay for her protection. Another suggests Ronin is just fleeing in fear. Luna pursues Ronin, warning the risk is too high if he goes alone, insisting she'll join. None realize man is in the footage. This old mentor once guided Ronin through loss after his grandmother's death. Luna gives chase, torn on fighting for these figures, and claims to M1, man is merely an adversary. To rescue him, they'll have to reach the scene first. She promises her aid, surprising Ronin, who thought he'd face this ordeal without support. On the field, Qin devastates the surroundings with relentless attacks on Muzin. The Demon King's aide says Muzin isn't inferior, although everything meets her blade. With hatred in his demonic eyes, his unleashed speed lays waste to all near him. Man is unable to outpace Chin's ferocious movements. All the old man can do in response is depend on his strong defense. His diamond-like skin offers protection but not enough. Chin severs his arm. Chin's black sword cleaves the old man's arms swiftly apart. Annoyed, Chin voices his rising irritation. Countless lives were lost for the dream of restoring the true king's line, and now all hope is slipping away. The attack's fire melted his arm beyond healing. Such power can obliterate anything in its path. Chin warns that next the light will fall, and his glance promises mankind's ruin. Man draws upon his reserves, knowing defeat is certain, hoping only to exhaust Chin. The youth is overconfident, and perhaps his boastfulness gives man an edge. He cries out, "This ends when my head falls." Chin's sword must fend off the fierce assault. Though the youth blocks, it's harder than in earlier moments. He admits the elder's might feels like raging storm. Sadly, the elder limits himself to protect innocence. Chin aims to sever the leg, but still, with music swelling, the elder's resolve remains strong. When Chin treads the earth, energy-charged stakes burst molten from the soil below. Fleeting hope flickers in man until his leg and the stakes appear cut short. Chin, unharmed, stands behind, having fulfilled his ruthless promise. The younger one's strength eclipses the old, far beyond comparison. As music lingers, the boy now demands a price: man's life for betrayal of demons. His life is demanded as payment, and knowing all would be for nothing, man quietly yields. Recognizing man's merit, Chin promises a painless passing. Chin's honor contrasts with Muzin, who curses him for dragging down mortals and demons alike. What claim could he have to lead demons? Yet Chin senses another presence stirring now. What is this strange energy surrounding them? The old man hides some mysterious gift. No, this power isn't his. A mighty force nears, striking Chin like a falling star. Ronin unleashed an assault as awe-inspiring as a Kamehameha from Goku. Ronin's face radiated with burning wrath. Confronted with the boy, man recalls serving King Khan, who taught true kings protect all under their rule. In that instant, Ronin's posture mirrored his ruler's with striking resemblance. Muzin beheld his monarch and the youth, and a single symbolic tear welled in his eyes. Ronin stood ready to defeat the demon, destroying a human city and threatening his master. Luna introduced herself as a blue butterfly agent there to help, warning M1 agents would arrive and everything would be destroyed. Luna was resolute in rescuing him, but then something unexpected drew her attention. Jin arrived, the explosion having destroyed his clothes but leaving his body untouched. Ronin sensed this foe was unlike any other. His overwhelming power made that sword deadly. Such a blade could hurt him, and Chin had found a human boy, the source for his animosity toward mankind. Ronin also harbored this rage because demons once attacked humans and his beloved grandmother had paid the price. Before the boys could duel, Luna stepped between them on the battlefield. Both reacted with shock as Luna transformed, showing her demon form. She urged Ronin to let her fight Chin, while Ronin argued it would be far too risky for her. Luna insisted that as M1 approached, Muzin must be taken to safety and Ronin should go while she delayed the demon. Convinced, Ronin urged her to take care until he returned and thanked her genuinely for the help. There may have been motivations beyond Ronin influencing Luna's actions. When Chin saw Luna, a storm of emotions surfaced, awakening memories that never faded. He abandoned his last family years ago and nightmares endured since that loss. He sought ever-growing power to punish humans for taking those he once cherished. He left behind a younger sister, Rim, as part of his sacrifice. Hearing Rim's name, Luna was confused how Chin knew it and demanded explanation. Chin stalled instead of answering, which only made Luna's anger boil over. She struck forcefully, insisting he respond, and Chin lacked time to defend himself. Luna unleashed full strength, driving him down hard with tremendous force. She spun aloft, landed a precise blow with her legs and left Chin unable to react. Clutching his neck, she repeated her demand to know how he had learned that name. Glistening tear traced her cheek. Chin softly murmured Rim, as Luna cried out that she was Luna, guardian of King Khan. Drained, Chin confessed he had suffered all because of Luna. How was she still alive after he thought she had perished long ago? He had always believed his sister was lost to him. The siblings' reunion was interrupted as the M1 squad marched into the chaos with the demon. Lyaram emerged determined, ready to seek redemption. Witnessing the full horror, fear overtook all present. Flames devoured everything, unmatched even by a blazing fuel truck's fury. She commanded urgent focus, since even the bravest agent knew error spelled certain doom here. Meanwhile, Ronin struggled to rescue the old man as Misen faded to ash, the end for all demons. Grief overtook Ronin, his tears falling like steady rainfall. If only Misen could have lasted longer, Ronin had already mourned both his soul kin and first friend. Now, the only master Ronin had ever truly trusted was slipping away from him as well. Misen urged his student that the living must honor and change what was past, then faded away. Calling friendship a gift before crumbling to ash, Misen left Ronin to his pain while Luna faced Chin. Her fear vanished once she affirmed her duty as defender of the hybrid king. Chen was resolute, he would defeat anyone protecting Khan that dared step onto the battlefield. Luna accused him of cowardice for refusing to end her himself earlier. Her resolve ignited as she struck Chen decisively and broke free of his grasp. Although finding her brother alive, Luna stayed strong and abandoned all hesitation. Luna declared that if Chen wanted her dead, he shouldn't have given her that cherished necklace. She confessed blue butterflies had rescued her, but Chen was silent, steeling himself for lonely wrath. None who dared oppose him would be left standing. Even Rim was not spared as a figure cloaked in cold calm stepped from the shadows. Luna hadn't imagined he would return again so soon. The expression on her companion's face was not at all what she wished to find there. His end has fallen. Now Ronin awaits Chen, wrath unrestrained, standing as an obstacle before him. Ronin declares that Chen's end is near. Chen calmly replies this is ideal, for he aims to kill Ronin too. The clash prophesied at this journey's dawn now readies to consume all. Their battle reduces the surrounding structures to ruin. Chen tears through walls as easily as if they were thin sheets of plastic. Though his chill aura intimidates, the demon general still endures even Demon King's true blood. Ronin's fire pierces the ice, his hatred is mighty, yet it's uncertain if his power exceeds it. Luna suspects Ronin's real might surpasses that of any demon she knows. She feels Ronin's strength is superior, but admires Chen's tactical skills nonetheless. The demon general appears strong enough to challenge Ronin. Luna must interfere, yet questions if it is Chen she ought to thwart now. Confused thoughts cloud her mind until she jolts herself to attention with a sharp slap. Don't be foolish, she reminds herself sternly. Her loyalty compels her to fight in service of her king. Before her, Chen remains icy as he carries out the battle. Blows from the Demon King's offspring could prove fatal. Each strike could devastate if not for Chen's swift escapes. Dodging, Chen sees that Ronin too has felt loss just as he has. Life distributes injustice equally, does it not? Damning destiny led them both to this inevitable meeting. Chen intends to make him atone, unleashing all pent-up anger and grief on Ronin. Chen finally lands his first strike upon his hated rival. Though our hero remains filled with courage, something inside him quietly stirs unease. Luna steps into the fray, insisting the fight is too perilous for him to face by himself. Ronin long resisted the truth, but Chen's immunity to regular strikes stands undeniable now. Luna warns if Chen finds any opening, Ronin's life will be instantly threatened. But the truth stands that Chen could fall just as swiftly if fortune reverses. They need one decisive blow together to win. Teamwork is their only hope for victory. Can they pull it off? Ronin is uncertain, but he resolves to have faith in what Luna says. As chaos intensifies, Lyaram arrives with the M1 agents to enter the growing conflict. None among them guessed they'd come across their own allies from M1 on the battlefield. Ronin's presence, shadowed by Luna's fearsome demon form, astounds Lyaram as she gazes on. Chen brandishes his swords, steeling himself against his sister's incoming blow. Luna shifts into her nine-tailed form and releases her fiery Firefox assault. The power sends Chen reeling, leaving him lost, as if stranded in endless white nothingness. Ronin's strike lands in Chen's chest, impressing even Chen in that critical moment. Shockingly, this was exactly the outcome the villain had been aiming for all along. Transforming, the villain seizes Ronin, draining his essence at a breathtaking, relentless pace. Luna stands powerless, unable to intervene or even fend off the chaos spiraling around her. Such immense energy radiates from the true King's Son that none dare underestimate its force. He unleashes all his might, so overwhelming even Chen strains to take it all in. The surge of energy is mighty enough to illuminate the horizon for the entire city. Powerless, the M1 agents see Ronin's force reach the demon dimension from the human world. Kun's demon hordes were waiting for this power, dwarfed by the radiant column in the sky. Ryside cries out that the long-awaited moment has at last arrived. After years of waiting, the demons come to claim the human world, as Ryside orders vengeance. Thousands of demons hear and follow the relentless decree. Wipe out all humans. The M1 agents stared in disbelief as the order appeared. Overhead, the sky fractured, and a vast swirling portal yawned wide before their eyes. This was the moment an unending army of monsters and demons began their invasion of Earth. Amid the chaos, someone ran along the rooftops. It could only be the fearless, handsome Ronin. No one understood how she arrived in such a condition or the reasons behind it. Yet Lyaram nursed suspicions, thoughts she couldn't easily let go of. Though confusion reigned at first, townsfolk soon sensed life would never return to its past form. Unspeakable horrors descended from above, frightful enough to unsettle even the bravest. The madness we saw in earlier videos was now unfolding before us. By now, dusk had settled, taking the world close to nightfall. Monsters swarmed everywhere, and heroes of all trades fell prey to fate's cold hands. Vivid city scenes flashed by while the M1 leader learned the emergency code had been upgraded. The captain promptly requested an update on their current predicament. The situation was too dire, the agents couldn't handle the monstrous threat alone. However, worry never touched the captain's composed demeanor. He calmly ordered his team to remain true to their established plan. M1's preparation had taken more than 10 years, guided by his steadfast hand. Elsewhere, Luna, the girl with mesmerizing pink eyes, lay seriously wounded. Someone lingered near her home, as Ronin hurried for the medical supplies she needed. Returning to the room, he found the steel-plated windows wrecked in his absence. That signaled trouble. Luna, unconscious, faced destruction as Lyaram summoned her strength to finish it. Ronin intervened, halting her malicious intent. He blocked her with his strength, yet she pressed on, turning her wrath on him as well. Ronin was at a loss, unable to comprehend Lyaram's motivation for acting so harshly. She said if Ronin didn't grasp the truth yet, she had something crucial to reveal. Lyaram lifted Luna's blanket, revealing that her concern was not unfounded. He had to witness it for himself. The wound on the girl's chest smoldered into ash. He understood that only creatures can undergo such a transformation. Lyaram declared survival, and a wound turned to ash meant Luna herself must be a creature. Monsters deserve death. Ronin told Lyaram not to be ridiculous, but she was sure of her truth. Ronin tenderly covered Luna once more and stated they had long fought by each other's side. He wondered aloud what difference it would make now. Ready to strike at Luna, the girl poised herself beside the unconscious figure. Her memories meant nothing. Since Luna was a creature, her fate would not change. Ronin's icy strength filled the room as he warned that he too was something else. He told the girl that monsters always sought his end and wondered what to do if humans joined in. When he spoke, his stare was colder than the most frozen sea. He confessed he no longer knew where his loyalty rested. As frost seemed to creep into the room, Ronin demanded the uneasy girl's decision. "Are we foes?" he pressed. Then, as destruction blared on the radio, the girl surrendered to truce. Their natures stopped mattering, forging alliance they would battle side by side. Luna too was granted this unity. Ronin cared for her, tending her injuries gently. He put forth all his power to heal her. From now on, Luna's survival depended only on her struggle. Donning his old attire, Ronin strode towards the unfolding battle. Those agents named M1 faltered against the beasts, while the elite swiftly struck them down. CIA exulted in her might, though her comrades' homeliness dampened her spirit. Yet together, these two pressed onward, slaying many fiends as one. Simultaneously, Lyaram returned and fought the monsters with equal resolve. Strongest of them all, she could take down numerous foes in a single onslaught. Her determination was extraordinary, fueling everything she attempted. But despite her strength, after battling dozens of beasts, a demon surprised her, seeking to devour her. Her arm was caught in the creature's jaws, and she was unable to respond in time. Second arm intervened, bringing swift destruction to the creature. Ronin once again arrived in time to save the girl from danger. Recently, this seemed to be happening with increasing frequency. Our hero did not waver when facing the monstrous foes around him. Lyaram witnessed him in battle and saw all monsters defeated, curious about Chen's location. The expression he wore left no doubts about his purposes. Again, Lyaram felt that deep, unsettling coldness down her back. She explained that there were no signs of attacks from him, so perhaps he was in hiding. The girl suggests she could join him in a minute, but pain keeps her from moving just yet. Lai realized she must return to base for recovery and noticed strange ashes seeping from her wound, just like Luna's. Meanwhile, Chen was idly observing demons swarm the city through their portal. One of his followers arrived to update him on the ongoing chaos. The people stood no chance, perishing helplessly under the attack. His assistant said their success owed to Chen securing the key, bringing likely favor from the Demon King. All seemed promising until talk of the Blue Moth girl made Chen tense, but his assistant unintentionally disclosed their near victory over her. Chen seized the creature by its throat and said the end would be devoid of pain. With one move, the snake beast lost its head completely. I suspect she could benefit from talking to a counselor. Just look at how wild his eyes have become. Lim came back to M1 and soon received proper medical care. Her injury mended entirely and quickly. The doctor observed this was highly unusual since people aren't meant to heal so fast, though it was fortunate. Lyaram, however, was far from pleased and snatched the syringe from the physician's hand. Demanding answers about its contents, she startled the doctor, who questioned Lyaram's actions. Lyaram brushed off her words, seeking only the truth about the syringe's purpose. This unsettled the doctor, so Lyaram slammed her against the wall and interrogated her head-on. The doctor claimed it contained nothing more than painkillers. Lyaram retorted that if that were so, the doctor should not object to being injected. The woman resisted, exposing the truth that it was more than mere pain medicine. At last, the woman confessed it was monster DNA, granting humans great strength. To Lyaram, this revelation was a living nightmare. Not long ago, she would have killed Luna simply for bearing a monster's blood. Did that mean she now belonged among Luna and Ronin's kind? The doctor insisted her intentions were to help humans fight demons, and it would not harm people. Lyaram felt deceived. She had sought to fight demons and instead became what she despised due to these people. The doctor resolved to lead Lyaram to the hidden laboratory. No agent was permitted to enter this highly secret facility. Lyaram didn't care for words, only to witness how these hidden trials unfolded. In the clandestine lab, many glass tubes housed living monsters of various types. The doctor spoke with pride, revealing how challenging it was to seize these living creatures. This was her prized and treasured assembly. Thanks to those music beings, she could forge a new, more powerful race that remained human. Even with her wisdom, the doctor chose foolish words, spurring Lyaram to an unprecedented resolve. Though she was mortal, the doctor, Lyaram thought, deserved the same justice as the monsters. To Lyaram, everything seemed a cruel deceit to bind her. She vowed it would end here. She did not harm the doctor. Instead, she released the monsters prized so dearly by her. That collection truly meant so much to her. Anger flared in the woman's eyes before she was seized around her throat. Her creations now wished to study how long she could survive before succumbing to their hunger. Lyaram examined the unfolding events with careful attention. The physician pleaded for aid, insisting Lyaram couldn't let a person be harmed by beasts, but her words failed. Her most treasured subject silently observed her grim fate, then simply walked away. The woman's cries for rescue rang out, unanswered by all. As the laboratory doors closed, so too did the demon's deadly mouth. Later, Luna awoke peacefully, unharmed and alert. Unexpectedly, the girl who'd never shown her kindness was there, waiting as Luna awoke. Luna wondered at her presence. Was she here to kill her? For once, Lyaram spoke honestly to Luna. Luna found herself unsure if Lyaram suspected her true nature, or if she knew Ronin's secret. Troubled by questions, Luna whispered, "Are you here to destroy me?" The girl retorted, "Is that your belief after all my effort to help you?" Luna doubted Lyaram's motives, but the girl bluntly stated that only Ronin could solve things, and would act only if Luna were safe. Her presence was to guarantee protection, for Ronin would shield them both. Meanwhile, on the field of war, the agents were swiftly being overcome. At last, the one destined to alter the planet's path had finally arrived. Like a storm, Ronin unleashed destruction and flattened all opposition in his course. Courage burning, our hero engaged in battle, mind whirling with questions. He could not grasp the reasons for this fight or understand why he was pursued. Yet if eradicating every demon was his only path, he resolved to follow it through.